Anyways, here we go, chat. We have league play to do. Let's do it. Stoves. Continue to the team dugout. Let's book it, chat. I've set a 5-star booker card I did a few days ago in the Discord if you want to look at it. God, that was brutal booking that. At least I was able to book Dr. Death and Joe Doring main event.
It's time to see whose balls are the most based.
Oh my God! Go, you go fucking kill him, Dr. Death. Actually, no, don't do that. Don't don't fucking do that. Go brutalize his fucking chest, Dr. Death. Truly the heir to the cowboy gaijin. Dr. Death, go step in the ring with Joe Doran and make him into a real Stan Hansen. You fucking son of a bitch, I love you so much. Alright, so. Who all is in chat right now? Patch.
Picking me?
Since I know that you're paying attention right now, who the hell is going to be joining? But but in Kansai, Japan.
I think.
Pete Wheeler, the fucking star of this team.
You know what to do.
Me, I'm here. Patch. Pablo? All reliable, brother. Okay. Pete Wheeler is basically Stinky Peterson, slower cut. Stinky Peterson! Oh my gosh, dude. Stinky Peterson's slower cousin. Listen, you son of a bitch. Pete Wheeler is anything but slow. Have you seen him run? This man is the fastest kid on the entire block. He will run circles around you before you even have a chance to get the ball in the glove. Alright, Pablo. Returning. Actually, hold on. Actually, hold on, Chad. Hold on.
Schmedging Tilkenbergen.
Staph. Like a staph infection. There we go. Here, we need to... Wait, edit team name. Hold on. Oh, give me the Hornets. Purple. Team adjective. Humongous Hornets are back. I'll do the swing spot assist because I don't know if this game shows you an after image of the thing yet. Hold on, we're gonna find a new stadium here to play on. Steel Stadium sounds like a pretty good one. We'll do 3 innings for this just so we can keep things going. And we'll do arrows too. Wait, birthday boost? Absolutely. We'll do errors. Let's do it. I don't understand why you can't change your settings. Not even like the difficulty setting afterwards. That feels like a very big quality of life feature that they're just not, you know, adding in.
I'm gonna hit a touchdown.
Sure fucking will, brother. You're gonna hit so many, it's not even funny.
Mi animal favorito es una cabra.
Una cabra? Una cabra? What animal is that, chat? My favorite animal es una cabra. Anyways, Pablo.
Vámonos.
Zach! Who you picking? Who you picking? We can put Mr. Clanky in here for the first time in season mode. We can do Vinny the Gooch. We can also do Vladimir Guerrero, who is the sole pro that I have unlocked at this moment in time. I fucking knew it! I knew it, you shithead! Let's do it.
I'm going to talk about what kind of contract you're offering.
A contract? God damn it, Humongous. I knew you shouldn't have rated... Dude, you shouldn't have rated... Dude, we were gonna offer Jorge Garcia all of those Cheetos, and you ate all of them, man! Okay, well... hold on. I'm just gonna have to lure him in. I'm gonna have to lure him in with the prospect of future Cheeto, you know, acquisitions. But until then, you're gonna have to scrounge something up, Homunculus. This is all your fucking fault.
You're a smart business person.
Okay. Whoops. Who else? Who else is coming to the team? We have probably indisputably the best two players right now, which are Pete and Pablo, along with Jorge Garcia to really round us out. And by round us out, I mean make us like average. But who will be joining them? Whoops. Bring in Luann. I believe in her. I believe in her too, and her Teddy.
If you want me on your team, you'll have to talk to Teddy. He's my agent.
All right. Homunculus, you work out the contract specifics, and I'll get her geared up to to play on this team. She may be the youngest, but she is fast. Between her lightning fast base running and her fireball pitch, she will run laps around her opponents, and all while carrying her trusted teddy bear at her hip.
Yay! That's 2 spots filled.
2 spots? I mean, dude, that's like 10. Dude, we have 10 people on this team. That's crazy. Infinite. Who we picking? Who we picking? We have a pretty good pitcher right now. Luann's gonna be our starter. But right now we're missing, you know, closers. And on top of that, you know, decent fielding. I mean, Pablo, we could stick him anywhere, really. And Pete Wheeler will probably be good in the outfield, but Jorge is definitely going to be first base or catcher. Like, he's not going to be moving away from the infield. And Luann, she will definitely be in the infield too, because even though that she is, you know, a good pitcher, I don't really trust her that much on I don't trust her that much on the outfield. Either Kenny or Vinny the Gooch. Oh, dealer's choice. All right. Well, Vinny the Gooch is pretty average at most things. I mean, we gotta pick the GOAT, right?
Don't let this wheelchair fool ya. I can play.
Oh, we know that, brother. I know that for a fact. You will be our other pitcher. Can you play a sunny day? Yeah, but you need to unlock her. Get in here, Kenny. Kenny, by God, Kawaguchi. All right, Dan, are you in chat? If you are, pick somebody. that was not Dan. I literally thought that Dan like redeemed that just to make himself known. We have Vinny the Gooch. Pretty average. We have friggin' Ahmed Khan, who will bring the power when we go to bat. Dante Robinson, really good running and good fielding. Not so much in terms of batting. Maria Luna. She will unfortunately not be very good because we don't have Pink on our team. Let's see here. Vladimir Guerrero, the sole pro that I have unlocked right now. He is a really good offense man, but in terms of defense, he leaves a bit to be, desired. Vicky Kawaguchi, I could really stick her anywhere in the field and she'll be good. Stephanie Morgan, I feel like she's been really buffed in this game. So having her will be a really good, benefit to us. Fucking Ernie Steele, you could put him in the outfield. Anywhere in the outfield, really. Let's see. Sally Sally is just kind of above average in a lot of things. Marquis Dubois, probably a good left fielder. Mikey Thomas. Kimmy Ekman is broken, so like if we want to just have some fun, we can fucking put her in there. Even us out with like 2 of the worst in the game.
Come on, kid. Make old Tony proud.
Here, let's see. You know what? Here. I'll just draft Stephanie Morgan right now because I know that if Deontay was here, they'd be wanting me to pick her crazy.
Picking me isn't just a good decision. It's a great decision.
Oh, it absolutely is. In this game it is, at least.
This team just got way better.
Absolutely. Bride, what about you? Are you in here?
I noticed your team could use someone with
Let's see. You know what? How about this? Zach, give me another pick. Yeah, Dana's in here. I checked the... God damn it. Okay. How about this, Zach? You pick another one. Pick one. I do have it on, like, the second highest difficulty, so, like, we won't... It's like we probably won't just be busted the whole time. The robot, Mr. Clanky. And, I mean, we have really good pitching power on this team. And Mr. Clanky might be our opener. Patch. Patch, you do another one.
I've got a mighty arm. You want me on your team.
You go ahead and do another one. The only... The biggest hole in our game right now, I feel like, is fielding. Like, we do not have very good fielding just in general right now, and I feel like that... If we add one more pitcher, we're going to be, kind of setting ourselves up for like, really hard times down the line. I don't think we need a catcher. I mean, like, Jorge's probably going to be the catcher, you know? That being said, he doesn't have a really good arm, so, you know, we'd be sticking him there just because if I put him really anywhere in the outfield, then he'd be just absolute dog shit. So yeah, maybe we do need a catcher. A good catcher has a very strong arm, so that'd probably be Mikey Thomas with his insane immune system. Looks like Reese is the best fielder left, either him or Jacinda. You know what? We haven't done Reese in the last one. I'm leaning towards Reese.
I brought my inhaler, my backup inhaler, and my emergency inhaler. So I'm good to go.
Oh no, this is the best choice, Chad. I don't think I want this man dying on the field like this. The kid is great in the field and can catch any ball. Though be careful, he doesn't like having to run for an extended period of time.
Best day ever. Well, second best. Nothing beats my trombone recital.
And that's a W, brother. That right there is a W. Okay. Whoops, if you're in chat, you pick the last one, brother. Who we picking? And frankly, I feel like we got a pretty good team. Okay, what do we need? Well, I feel like that right now, what we're missing is a power hitter. Actually, no. Pablo fits that. Pablo fits power hitting, but in terms of, like, pure power, we don't really have anyone like that just yet. We have, Dimitri, Mikey, Ahmed, Keisha. In terms of pitching, we do not need any more of that. Speed, I think, is accounted for in spades. Let's see. And our batting lineup, I think, is pretty fucking good. But again, we don't really have a catcher, or at least like a dedicated one. So I feel like having Mikey Thomas in there would be good.
Hi. Do you have a tissue?
I do not, brother, but you better have a friggin', you know, I'm a catching glove, because you're a catcher.
Thanks. You're real nice.
Great. Alright, we got Mikey in there. Next up, Playground Comments against the Green Melon Heads. Alright, well, we'll put Stephanie at shortstop. We can put Pablo really anywhere. Mr. Clinky will be our pitcher. Reese Worthington will be... Well, if he doesn't like running for extended periods, I don't really know about putting him, you know, in the outfield. I feel like this is probably the best that we can do at this point in time. Because Mikey has a cannon of an arm. Or at least he should here, because he had that. Luann in left, Pete in right. Okay, hold on. Just don't put Pablo in the infield. Those balls will go over him because of how short he is. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Having Pablo at like center with his speed and his fielding ability, I feel like that's just going to be, you know, really good for him. So Reese at second base, Luann in left, and Pete in right field. That sounds good to me, dude. Pete will be up first. We'll do Reese. Actually, no, we'll do Stephanie second. Pablo third. Mikey Thomas will be our cleanup here. Kenny will be there. Jorge will be eighth. And then cleaning up that side is probably going to be Mr. Clanky. Alright, cool. I think that's pretty good. What's our schedule looking like? So we're here in the regular... Oh my god! Oh my god, look at Mr. Clanky! He has a little paint job! That's so cool! Batting order. Pete, Pablo, Mikey, Mr. Clanky, Stephanie, Kenny, Jorge, Reese, Luann. I feel like having Pablo kind of at third is pretty good for him, but we'll see. We'll see how it kind of shakes up. We could change it up if we want to, you know, over time. All right, here we go. First game of the season. Let's do it. Again, it's 3 innings just because I want to keep things rolling.
Hi-ho and good day, folks. Sunny day with you along with the ever-stylish Vinny the Gooch.
I love the name cards on, like, the popsicle sticks.
Because the concession stand is closed.
There's a concession stand?
That has me wondering, Vinny. Where did you get that corn dog?
I ain't revealing my secrets.
While I try to solve this mystery, let's take a look at the game we have lined up. This time, we've got Humongous Hornets going head-to-head against Green Melonheads.
What a lineup. Hey, Batter, let's start this thing.
Featuring Coach Staff Infection. Let's do it.
Looking a bit confused, we have...
Oh my god!
Stepping up to the plate.
Dude, they're color-coded and everything. That's so sick.
Headed in the right direction.
Man, we're facing Keisha right away, dude.
Down the line. With the ball...
You can make it, Pete! If anyone can, it's you. That's it, brother. That's it. We love it.
Look at that stance. I'm sure Stephanie is going to pop this one out of the park.
Bubbles knows everything.
Dude, Stephanie Morgan is ready.
You give her enough time.
She has all the aura right now. Oh, nice! Dude, absolutely goddamn just pummeled.
Runners on first and third. This just got exciting.
Just threw himself into it.
Yeah! Pete Wheeler!
The living legend.
First to home.
Here to show us how it's done.
From first to home, it's Pete Wheeler.
He's ready to belt one out of the park.
Dude, this shirt is fucked up. I'm not gonna lie. This shirt on Pablo is messed up.
Strike one.
Give me something down the middle, brother.
Now
Ouch.
is not the time to choke. 2 strikes.
No, you're right. Now is really not the time to choke.
Rounder through the gap.
Ah, dude.
It can't all be
That's tough. That's tough. That is some tough stuff right there.
Now he's ready to blow the ball out of the park. It's Mikey Thomas.
This kid is an impressive force on the
I enjoy how... Okay, hold on.
Sure to sanitize, and that's a strike.
I enjoy how in free play, like, they don't have team uniforms, but in the league play they do.
Way up.
Don't catch it, don't catch it, don't catch it.
We've got a runner on first and second. It's
Hmm.
Speed Demon up to bat.
If this kid makes
You know what? I was expecting Mikey to belt one out, but he just didn't there.
Huh?
See you, Reich won.
Not a broken ladder.
I forget that Kenny's swing comes out very, very fast.
Punches one.
Oh, nice!
Opposite of rocking.
Go home, Pablo.
3 players on all 3 bases.
Home safe. Mark the board.
Nice. Turns out Kenny's the cleanup hitter.
Breathing easy, but Reese Worthington is calm at bat.
Reese Worthington up to bat. Fielders might want to stand back for this one.
Alright, hold on. We're gonna go ahead. We're gonna do the close stance. That's a ball.
Ball one.
I'm surprised that was called a ball. That was, like, in the strike zone, I feel like.
A nasty pitch.
That's another ball.
A lot of heat.
What?
Strike.
That first one was a ball, but that was a strike? Come on now.
Ooh, that's just embarrassing.
Give me something in the zone, brother. Give me something more in the zone than what you've been giving me.
Strike.
Ah, dude.
My arms are too short for this sport.
They are not, brother.
Swing with the force of a truck.
I'm sorry.
Mr. Clanky.
Oh my gosh.
Of steel. What else do you expect from this?
Oh, Mr. Clanky!
Gone.
It must be dinner time.
I mean, having a robot on the field, that feels like... I mean, that feels like a little bit of cheating, right? That feels a little bit like cheating. Just because, well, he doesn't get tired. You know? Like, he's a robot. He doesn't get tired. Oh, no. Okay, we're about to get humbled big time here.
Jorge would be unstoppable.
Right back to the pitcher.
Yeah, exactly. But we did, dude, so much damage was done there. Wow. 5 runs in the first inning. Chat, did I put this on, like, the 3rd highest difficulty? It's like Backyard Pro or something like that.
Stepping up to the plate with big dreams and a bigger swing. It's our favorite.
The crowd is buzzing for the newcomer. No pressure, kid. Just the entire neighborhood waiting to see if you're the real deal.
Okay, what are...
Mr. Clanky.
Alright, what are Mr. Clanky's, like, best pitches?
With infinite stamina, Clanky is no joke.
Hey, batter, batter,
So it seems like all of his pitches are pretty good. It is fucking out of here, dude.
Rounder to left field.
Ah! Oh, dang.
Sings it.
Okay, well, we gotta hold him at first.
Is occupied.
Cool, got it.
Look out! Here comes the newcomer.
No chat.
Ready to rock this stadium.
A new face steps in
Hold
its batter.
Hold on just a second.
The kid's got the swing to match the swagger.
Baited.
Miss. Strike one.
Here. Here, let's play around with the strike zone a little bit.
That's a slow roller.
Oh, go!
And they're out of there.
Nice. Good. Phew.
Taking the mound.
I mean, that could have been a double play right there, but whatever.
The bases.
Now here's a kid who looks like they practiced their home run trot in the mirror this morning.
We want a ladder, not some broken batter.
Who's that? That is not a kid. That is a full-grown adult on the field. What? Chat, did you hear that?
There's two.
Ah, dude.
More room for error here.
You could have just let that go.
Rounder to left field. Hey, look! It's up, dog! The runner's out of there.
Oh, what? Oh, wait, no. I forgot. I forgot the number of outs we were working with. Oops.
The neighborhood's newest ace. Towing the rubber and ready to deal.
Dude, everyone on this team is the neighborhood's newest ace, huh?
Standing there. Personally, I like the sneakers.
I love the sounds Mr. Clanky makes. Are you saying that, like, adult voice was Mr. Clanky?
And that's a strike.
A team full of Okadas. I mean, like, listen, dude, we're 2 outs in, and they only have one guy on base. So, watch.
That retires the side. You hate.
Pretty sure we're dealing with like 2007 Okada, not like 2015 Okada.
Luann Louie and her trusty sidekick Teddy are at bat.
We'll see about this.
Holds the spirit of a legendary ball player, and that's why Luann is such a great player.
There's a bunt.
Can she make it? Can she make it? Ah, just about, but no. Ah, dude, come on, you made her sad.
Wheelie going to knock it out of the park. Pete Wheeler has stepped up to bat.
Rumor has it that Pete once ran so fast that his shoes fell off, and he could never find them again.
This one's coming in with some heat.
A little doinker.
Come on, Pete!
Takes a dive.
Dude, that's sick.
It up.
That's our fucking GOAT right there.
Stance. I'm sure Stephanie is going to pop this one out of the park.
Oh yeah. Time to add another homer to my record.
I've never seen you hit a homer, but let's see if you can actually do it here, Steph. I've never seen Stephanie Morgan ever hit a homer. At least not on this stream, and that streak will continue.
It's an It's the pint-sized powerhouse, Pablo.
This inning's probably not going to be as dominant as the first one.
Doesn't speak any English. We all know he's a rad dude.
But no, chat. I was really looking forward to seeing. Oh, hey, dang!
Rifles it.
Come on, Pete. You can make it.
Now this is
You can absolutely make it, dude. Holy shit!
Shoot the ball.
Bless you. Mikey Thomas is up to bat.
he has a powerful sneeze and a powerful
Thank you.
That one's headed way
Mikey, good job.
Hello, Mario.
Swings it. Runners on first and second. It's
Hello, Henley and or Ollie. I don't know which one.
Try getting one past me.
Okay, Screaming Line. Let's do it. Last I checked, the Screaming Line is actually kind of shit in this game. Hello, Ollie. How are you? Like, dude. Like, dude, it's really nothing special in this game, I feel like.
of their seats. He may not be breathing easy, but Reese Worthington is calm at bat.
Do I look pale? I feel pale.
Hello, Idea Maker. How you doing? Oh boy, man. Dude, a real, like, Okada-like would not be getting tired at this point. He would be absolutely just cool and calm here.
Yes,
Runners
you got
caught in a
tangled.
Whoa, hello! Okay, whoa. I'm surprised he didn't get out. He, like, literally, like, rammed into Keisha there with his wheelchair.
Pull out your pens and paper, people. Dimitri coming up to bat with some brain-bending strategies.
His strategies are flawless, and he knows every baseball stat.
Solid hit. Scooped up.
Fucking stay right there, Jorge!
It for the runner.
What the hell are you doing? Stay on base!
Taking
Freaking Reese has it covered. You not need to be leaving base, dude.
Newcomer. No pressure, kid. Just the entire neighborhood waiting to see if you're the real deal.
That one's heading foul.
You're sure you
Okada wouldn't have gone to foul ball, chat. That's all I'm saying.
Hard hit grounder through the
Whoa, okay.
left field.
Okay, you know what? I'll freaking give that to you. I'm sorry. What?
Pure power.
Pick up the ball!
Keisha Phillips slugger for nothing.
I heard
Dude, you have to pick up the ball. I don't really know how best to explain this to you. In order to actually do the fielding, you have to pick up the ball. Oh my god, Mikey!
Runner tried to make some plays.
Dude.
Just could not get it done.
Mikey had that on lock. Wow. Some things never change when kids leaving the base. Like, dude, we do not need both Reese and Jorge leaving the base. Like, we do not need them going into the outfield. We do not need both of them. We just need one. And Reese was already on his way over there. Probably should have went to the cutoff, man. Whatever. Mikey, more like Mike Yeet. I know, dude. He has an absolute cannon of an arm.
Steps in his batter. Let's see if the
Always has, and he still has it here. It looks like.
One strike on the count. Batter beware. This one's raring to go. A little dribbler.
Got them warning shots. Dude, I know.
Let's make this quick. I've got the kids later.
Slips through the gap.
Oh, no. Okay. Cut off, man.
runners on first and second.
There we go. But no, chat, I'm gonna be honest.
Look out.
I'm not gonna say that
Ready to
Shota being taken out of the G1 is, like, gonna kill my entire interest in it.
Their home run trot in
However, I will say that, like, he was probably the guy that I was kind of hoping to win the whole thing, and now I'm just like, well, because they were building the whole entire tournament around, you know, both him and Gabe Kidd, it seems like, and now we're just not gonna get that at all.
look out.
And I'm just like, well, who the fuck else are you gonna have win this? You know? If I were in Gato's shoes, which, like, you know, I feel like anyone would probably want to be in his shoes right now, considering how, you know, New Japan's been booked.
That'll do it for them this inning.
I wouldn't give it to Takesha for a second year in a row.
Baseball
I'd probably try to give it to, like, someone
He's up to bat.
like a,
Know he was even allowed
fuck it, I'd probably give it to, like, Yuya. Oh,
that player
Mr. Clanky.
He's bonkers at
Never
third.
Jake Lee,
Jorge
though.
Garcia.
Never Jake Lee. Even though that he's won me over, he has not won me over enough to be like, yeah, dude, this man needs to win the G1. This man is... Oh my god! Dude, Jorge just belting it. Okay. Okay, hold on. Jorge actually has...
Little Luan
Jorge actually putting some fucking chops in here. Let's do it.
Hello, Mario.
That one gets through.
Screw it, give it to Goto. I mean, Goto's like a fucking OG, you know? You may as well. Also, hi, Spicy Pickle. How you doing? Welcome on into tonight's Long Boy Club meeting.
That's me.
Slips through the gap.
Dude, the power just is not there for Pete Wheeler right now, I feel like.
Runners on first and third.
You can make it!
Just gotta get right.
Dude, the slide is busted. What?
Look at this.
That slide is absolutely busted.
Pop this one out.
Third time up to bat for Steffi Morgan.
As well as Stephanie. She lives, breathes, and
The
eats
pitcher is
baseball.
taking no chances with
I
this
hope
on
she
the
doesn't
mound.
eat baseball.
Oh wow, you can actually do an intentional walk? What? What? Stephanie, it's over there.
The living legend. Pablo Sanchez is here to show us how it's done.
Okay, well, dude, I think we found some holes in Stephanie's baseball knowledge. Apparently she doesn't know what the intentional walk is.
And that's a strike.
Listen, even the goats could stand to learn a few things.
Blinded. Left
Ah, that landed right in Keisha's glove, yeah.
taking the mound today. This batter is cleaning the bases. Okay, batter up.
I'm alright, and yeah, Goto should have had a run years ago. Has he never won the G1?
One.
Because I could have sworn that, like, in the opening package to the first night, I saw Goto with, you know, with the trophy one year. Or am I just, like, seeing things? Here, hold on. We're gonna go ahead and put Clanky somewhere else. Kenny, you're up.
Up to pitch is the coolest kid on the block. Kenny
You're closing out, bro.
This kid is one of the coolest pitchers I know. And fast, too. He's a batter's worst nightmare. That little blooper sent him running.
Go! Hit it. There you go. Goto won the G1 in 2008. Okay.
ready to rock the stadium.
My time to shine.
I mean, it would be pretty fucking cool, you know, to have him, you know, win it this late into his career.
Ooh, that pitch is sure to twist him up.
Sent him
Oh
scrambling.
damn, oh damn, oh damn, oh damn. Hit it, hit it. No, no, he's safe. He's safe.
Taking the mound today, this batter is clean.
I would probably not have Takeshi.
Swinging at the plate.
Could someone ace check this guy? I'm pretty sure that he's I'm pretty sure that he's just a really small adult.
Personality.
Strike one.
He beat Togi Makabe in the finals. Alright.
Rips one.
Oh, damn! I am 12.jpg. Genuinely. Dude.
That's one way to stop a run.
Ah, damn. Reese! Reese! Really, man?
Up in the
Shut
base
one
path
up.
there.
It happens. Stepping up to bat is the ever-calculating Dmitry Petrovich.
Dmitry has calculated the perfect.
You know what? I'm pretty... Okay, you know what? I don't think that Reese is probably the best person to have up in second base. He's a little short. But no, I feel like we need to card that previous hitter. I don't know if he's... I don't know if he... I feel like that we're sort of at a bit of a disadvantage with him.
Rounder to left field.
Your shoe is untied.
I mean, when I was a kid, I had a pretty deep voice too, but, like, that's... But, you know. Not like that.
Stepping up to the plate with big dreams and a bigger swing, it's our favorite.
Let's see if this kid.
It's our
Or if they're just good standing there. Personally, I like the sneakers.
Our favorite what, brother?
Swing goes the batter.
Your shirt's on.
Dude,
Steve snatched it.
what is happening right now? We're falling apart here.
Loaded, and the crowd is at the edge of their seats.
I am 12.jpg is great.
Passes a Flash and knows how to slam it out of the park. It's Keisha Phillips.
Flash can really swing that lumber. Just hearing her name makes pitchers sweat.
I do think it's a little bit raw, though, that they had to take the international title off of Takeshita. You know, so he could work the G1.
Where'd the ball go?
One strike.
I feel like the fact that he's, like, you know, working both those promotions kind of makes it so that with him, it makes it a lot harder to, like, you know, give him a sustained push. Which, you know what? As someone that plays a lot of TEW, I understand the dilemma. Get back to base! Okay, good.
To the scoreboard. Yikes.
With Shota out, I personally either give it to Goto or Kid. Maybe Aaron Wolf if you want to get weird with it. Wolf would be a wild choice, but I'm all for it. You know what? I'm a big fucking Aaron Wolf guy, dude. I'll take it. Especially if they want to, like, build him up as, like, this big, like, you know, legitimate athlete type of wrestler. Then that's probably what you want.
What an incredible play.
We're falling apart, dude. We're falling apart. They might come back here.
Here comes the neighborhood's newest ace, towing the rubber and ready to deal.
A new face steps in as batter. Let's see if the kid's got the swing to match the swagger.
Have any of you guys ever seen the episode of fucking Edda and Eddie in where, like, Eddie is, like, just coming in as, like, all these different new kids? And eventually Kevin is like, hey, what's with all the new kids? That's what I'm thinking with this right now. Like, man, a lot of families have recently decided to move to this city, huh?
3, 2.
What city are we in, chat? Ah! Ah! You can end it right now!
Trip around.
Pete!
Okay, well, taking the mound today, this batter is cleaning the bases.
My time to shine.
I can't believe that this I can't believe that this game takes place in like Garrett, Indiana.
Reich won.
The population went from 5,000 to 50,000 overnight. Holy shit.
Rounder to left field.
End it.
That'll do it.
There you go.
That's the inning, folks.
Win your first season game. The housing market here must be absurdly cheap. I mean, that's fucking Garrett, Indiana for you, dude.
What a hard-fought game. I got tired just from watching it.
Next match. So wait, hold on. Do we just go right to the next game? Yes, we do. Okay. You couldn't pay me to live in Gary, Indiana. No. I'm saying Garrett, Indiana, not Gary, Indiana.
Yo, I'm the...
Not living in Gary, Indiana. Like, that's a given.
My name? It's Vinius Vincenzo Theodore Giovanni Edward MacDonald Gucciarello. Vinny the Gucci.
And I'm not lying. Garrett, Indiana has like 5,000 people in it, maybe.
That's 'cause when
It's
I was
almost
born,
time for
my
a 3-minute
parents said it was the
Cheetos break,
sunniest
my
day of
dudes.
their lives. Isn't that sweet?
Sounds mushy to me. I like the name Rainy.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't be able to play baseball on a rainy day, now could you?
Well, you could, but
Hold
I
on.
suppose it wouldn't go as smoothly.
Exactly.
All right, fine. Your
Orange Monsters.
name is cool.
Yep, that's orange right there.
Now then, let's get down to business.
Here to dazzle.
That's absolutely orange, brother.
Humongous. Hornets. And orange. Monsters. Sit tight, folks. This is gonna
It's
be
break
a long
time.
one.
Where are the
Let's
Cheetos,
play
my
ball.
dudes?
The longest
see
3
the
innings of
Pillow
all time. We'll be back in a minute, chat.
Pillow pets are cute, huggable pets that pop open into full-size pillows. They're soft, they're cuddly, and they make perfect pillows. You've seen the ladybug, the dog, the frog, the unicorn, the dolphin, the bumblebee, the monkey, and all the others. But now, there's even more pillow pets. There's a new T-Rex dinosaur, a triceratops, a pterodactyl, a dragon, an elephant, a koala bear, a purple ladybug, and a lot more. Go online to see all the new pillow pets at www.pillowpets.com. Moms and grandmas, if you don't think your kids will love pillow pets, then watch this.
Okay, go ahead and open up the package.
I knew it! I knew it! I knew it!
What is it?
A pillow pet! We both got pillow pets!
Kids love their pillow pets. Go online to see all the new pillow pets. The new pillow pets are only available online. Pillow pets are soft, they're cuddly, and they make kids happy. Kids love to collect pillow pets too. How many pillow pets do you have? See all the new pillow pets at www.pillowpets.com. That's www.pillowpets.com. Start collecting your pillow pets today.
Nom nom nom. Oh, excuse me, we're back, my dudes.
Ah! Sorry, I wanted a way to eat trail mix. Come on. I wanted a way to eat some trail mix. Welcome back to Raw, everybody. Let's see here. I feel like that we need to take him out of the second base. We'll put Pete on second base instead. Because with how short Reese is, everything just flies over his head. So having him in the outfield will probably be good.
Taking the mound today, this batter is cleaning the bases.
The crowd is buzzing for the newcomer.
The birth rates over here in fucking Garrett, Indiana are insane right now, dude.
All eyes are on the...
Not to be confused. Oh my goodness gracious. Will you pick up the ball, please? Dude, the fielding is just really clunky in this game.
Look out!
I don't know what else to say.
Ready to rock this stadium.
A new face step.
This man looks like 5 different...
Kids got the swing to match the swagger.
This man looks like 5 separate Butch Hartman characters, like, molded into one single character. I don't know how to feel about that.
And that's a strike.
And welcome back, everyone. He looks like a 20s fanboy Chum Chum-esque character design.
Rounder to left field. Wow! Didn't see that.
Come on, no! Wow. Sanjay and Craig looking There's nothing else to do in the small town except try and reproduce. I mean, that's kind of why I want to move to a larger area, chat. Maybe Chicago. I'm not just saying that because I saw New Japan there.
Rounder to left field. Depth or cover. That's
Sorry. I got some peanuts in my throat here. Sorry about that, chat. Woo! Oh boy! Naka! 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 Kenny! 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 By God, Kawaguchi. But no, I would like to move somewhere like Chicago because for one thing it would be closer to people I know than somewhere like Seattle, even though I love Seattle. But it's closer to you know, people I know and love. But also it gives me
Strike one.
Sort of that more feeling of like agency and a big city experience. I just want to go somewhere that has new things and experiences, you know? Yeah, I would still be close to you. You would still be close to me. You would still be close to me, Zach, but I was more talking about, like, my family. Whoa!
Here comes the neighborhood's newest ace.
Did I unlock an NPC?
Hello, Mario.
Hi, Stev. How is the menagerie of animals? Well, you know what? The animals in the field right now. These little goddamn animals. They're playing good baseball right now, it seems like. Although we need to catch up in the next inning, otherwise it's going to be... Jeez, okay, hold on.
Tangled up in the base path there.
That was an incredible out, by the way. That feels like it glitched.
Look out! Here comes the newcomer.
No, Zach, I was more talking about my own family. But, you know what? You're someone that I know and love, too. So, you know what? I count you among that, too.
Waiting to see if you're the real deal. What a skillful throw.
That one gets through. They've shut them down.
Retire the side. Good job. I mean Henry and the crew, LOL. Oh, well, they're not playing really good baseball right now. In fact, Romeo is laying right behind me right now. Hi, Modi. He's probably gonna lick the salt off my hands. No. No. He's just tired. Now, Romeo's just tired. As far as the other two are concerned, the little fur babies, I have no clue where they are. They're probably in my room somewhere.
Looking a bit confused.
Right, they're probably in my bedroom somewhere.
To the plate.
Really is the fastest member on the team, as long as he's headed in the right direction.
Batter beware. This one's rare.
Nice. That right there's a double.
Had my
First
son-
base.
Maybe not. We'll play it safe. Yay, thank you. Just picture a heart icon up.
No one has studied
Just
baseball.
picture a heart icon right here.
Let's see if she can translate that knowledge into a home.
I don't know if Romeo, Henry, or Ollie would make good baseball players.
Give her enough time.
I mean, I've never seen them play, so, you know, I can't really say for sure.
What they were hoping for on that one.
Yeah, that right there is the downside of Steel Stadium. It's a very smaller... It's a smaller field, but the fence also makes for easier home runs.
To belt one out of the park.
Yeah, the outfield is deep, but it's very shallow.
Pitch with personality. Ooh, what
Oh, no, that's foul.
batter.
Get back there.
Close to staying in play.
Come on, Pablo.
That one's headed left.
Yeah, the outfield is very shallow.
He's blown his nose. Now he's ready.
I feel like usually it would stretch further back.
It's Mikey Thomas.
This kid is an impressive force on the plate. Just make sure to send it.
Shot into the gap.
Pete, you can make it. You can make it, Pete.
They're on the board.
All right, and we're all squared.
Get those touchdowns.
Always a fan favorite. Kenny Kawaguchi.
You got Amy by completing 50 or 15 tag outs. I thought you were talking about like Amy Rose for a second. I'm like, what? I don't think she's in this.
Scuff this.
Oh, dude. Dude, the slide with the wheelchair is baller. I love that.
Competition. It's Reese Worthington up to bat.
Reese
Can you hit it out the park, Reese?
He's not allergic.
Can you do that for me? Can you do that for me, buddy?
Back towards the outfield.
Sure. Over the fence into the friggin' foul line. He's Kenny by God Kawaguchi for a reason. He is, dude. He slides with the best of them.
This batter is cleaning.
I'm sorry. That's me.
Steps in his batter. Let's see.
That's me when I was like that's me when I was like 8 years old. What? Bro, I would love to see Sonic characters play baseball since Sonic X. I thought for a second they met Amy Dumas. And I was like, wait, Lita's in this? I mean, like, you can make something resembling Lita in this game. But no, I thought he was talking about, like, Amy Rose for a second. I'm like, Zach, you're right. I would like, listen, if Mario isn't gonna fill the hole, then Sonic may as well. We've only seen him do baseball, like, one time.
Goes for the diving catch.
Runner on first.
We've only seen him do baseball, like, one time, and that was in Sonic X. And listen, I mean, baseball's on the rise right now, brother. We are officially back.
Half of the infamous Weber twins. Whichever one this is can really play.
Whichever one this is can play. Good.
Scoops it up. The runner's out. You can do it.
Alright, well, good. Right, well,
To the pitcher.
I mean, at least we don't have someone in scoring position.
And Vinny the Gooch.
What?
Gotta commentate my own walk-up. Ah, well.
We want a batter, not the broken ladder.
I'm not good enough to call the baseball backyard league? Then they pull. What?
Going. Put a stamp on it and mail it to Peru.
Holy shit!
Aloha means
Wow.
baby. Still think you got a chance?
You could have Cream in this game. She's a kid. You could also have Tails in here, yes.
Here comes the neighborhood's newest ace, chewing the rubber and ready to deal.
Let's see if this kid can actually
Dude.
ball, or if they're just good standing there. Personally, I like this.
Dude, Vinny absolutely shut me up. Wow.
Strike.
Turns out he is good enough to call the backyard baseball league. Why does she look like a Belcher? Wow.
Ground ball up the first baseline.
I just know it as Dad's Burgers.
Past these kids.
You live above it. You work in it every day.
This batter is cleaning the bases.
Watch me go!
Gene, the name of the shop is Bob's Burgers.
Strike one.
Oh man, the Butch Hartman type character.
Don't blink. Swing, batter. Swing.
All right, let's fucking do it. I feel like that this will probably be Kenny's last inning. Low-key, they all kind of look like Belchers. They do, yeah. Go to the ball, man! What are we doing out here? Chat, what are we doing out here?
Look out! Here comes the newcomer.
Oh, hey, it's Denise Belcher right here. Or Veronica Belcher. The L is silent. The L is silent, by the way.
Strike one.
Oh, she has a power swing that she wants to use.
That's a slow roller.
That retires
There we
the
go.
side.
That's a...
Okay, we need to, like, start making tracks over here.
He can swing with the force.
Alright, it's Mr. Clanker.
Mr. Clanky.
Nerves of steel. What else do you expect
A
from
little
Mr.
outside.
Clanky?
Ball one.
I'm sorry, that was very insensitive.
And that's a strike.
Okay, hold on.
A clean pitch flying straight through the center.
Popped it up.
That
Pop up, dude.
He's bonkers at batting. It's Jorge Garcia.
Bonkers at batting, huh?
down the law on the baseball field. Maybe that's why he's dressed like a lawyer.
Splits the middle.
Oh no, he's a lawyer?
Just
We've
threw
got a
himself
runner on
into it.
first.
Great job. Great freaking job, Jorge.
He loops up to bat.
Don't
You're actually doing it.
She's speedier than a grizzly and will run the bases before the
Alright, we need a line drive here.
get the ball.
Lined toward right.
Nice! Nice! Ah! No, Jorge! Jorge, go!
First and second.
Go to third.
Runners on first and third. This just got he's really going to knock it out of the park.
I think he can do it, chat. I think Pete can belt it.
Once ran so fast.
First home run of the season. He's David Otunga. Oh-way-oh. Oh-way-oh. What?
And the fielder dives.
Ooh, this is
Oh my god. Oh my god. Dude, Luann advanced.
Look at the stance. I'm sure Stephanie is going
Well, better luck next time, Pete.
One perfect swing. Coming right up.
Do it. Do it right now.
who's on
What? Oh, okay.
who?
It's the
Dude, they fear.
Pablo Sanchez.
Dude, you traded Stephanie for Pablo? You idiot. You moron.
We all know he's a rad dude.
Wow. Idiots. Morons.
That one's trying to reach the clouds. They've shut them down this inning.
I'm serious. I'm not going to sit back and take this fucking shit.
Maybe I should not talk so much, chat.
Taking the mound today, this batter is cleaning the bases.
Game time.
You should take it, Tony. I have no choice but to take it, dude. Fine. Mr. Clanky, you get up there. We need you to minimize the damage, dude. You talk too much. Never shut up.
Mr. Clanky is programmed for perfect
Now
pitching.
these kids
Mr.
have what it
Clanky
takes
on
to
the
win.
mound in an actual
Pitcher
game.
makes the
Good
catch.
luck getting a
Dude.
Stepping up to the plate.
Dude, this game went to like the SA2
He is a kid who looks like
School of
he's
Sound
got
Mixing.
home run
Wow.
trot in the mirror.
Everyone is talking over each other.
Gap it goes. Snags it off the dirt.
These kids are
Mr. Clanky, you're minimizing, brother. You're doing it.
Look out. Here comes the newcomer, ready to rock this stadium.
The crowd is buzzing.
We have Ari Belcher here, chat.
Kid. Just the entire
Right back to the pitcher. Up with it. All right.
3 up, 3 down.
Your turn now.
Little bit of damage control.
Bless you.
Friggin' Bailey style, wow. Mikey.
Right down the middle for me.
Mikey, I need you now more than ever, dude.
That ball was hit so high.
What the
I've got time to.
Why are we feeding them? Why are we feeding it to them, chat?
Impressive performance.
It's K-Man the Speed Demon up to bat.
If
Okay.
this kid makes
Locking in.
contact with the ball, it's the last you'll ever see of it.
Ball 1.
Luann, why are you taunting your own team like this?
Center.
That's ball 2.
Do I need to have a talk with Luann? Dude, are we gonna walk?
That's ball 3.
Would that be a walk or a roll? He's walking.
That's ball 4 and a free walk.
Kenny drew a walk. Good job, brother.
Breathing easy, but Reese Worthington is calm at bat.
Reese Worthington up to bat. Fielders might want to stand back for this one.
Reese. Reese. Line drive it.
Swing goes the batter.
Damn it, dude.
Good hits come and
That's
go,
it.
but the dugout will always be there for you.
That retires the side.
Was fun while it lasted.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
One team showed up for this game.
Nice try. Dang it.
Win or lose, you gotta love the
Man. Wow. And now we're up against the Mighty Sox. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna change the batting lineup a little bit. Win some, lose some. It's just like Lenny said. You win some, you lose some. Something about gambling, too, I believe. I'll go ahead and put Pablo up there, too. Reese, you're third. Mikey Thomas is fourth. I feel like this is a much better lineup. There we go. Alright, let's try it again.
This is Sunny Day, and I'm here with Vinny.
You're a loser! Are you feeling sorry for yourself? Well, you should be, because you are dirt!
Sonny, it was on a day just like this that a baseball came crashing through our front living room window.
Let's do it.
Taking the mound today.
Alright, Mighty Sox time. Let's do it.
A new face steps in as batter. Let's see if the kid's got the swing to
Let's see if he's a broken ladder, actually.
Blanky is here to show you the marvels of machine power.
They're unstoppable.
Great.
infinite stamina.
You make it sick, you big giraffe. You make me sick, you big giraffe. Giraffe want a bottle?
It's our favorite.
Giraffe want a Cheeto? A big dirt Cheeto? Why are you yelling at me?
2 strikes. Pressure's on.
I love how well attentioned Hank is.
Long fall from the top.
Dude, I thought we were gonna see the entirety of her walk-off. I thought for a sec we were gonna see, like, the entirety of the walk-off there. A big dirt Cheeto? What?
Father, why are they yelling at me?
Are you... Loser! You're a loser, homunculus! Are you feeling sorry for yourself, son? Well, you should, because you are dirt. What? You're mud. What?
Looking a bit confused, we have Pete Wheeler stepping up to the plate.
Baby want a bottle? What? I said baby want a bottle. What?
A little outside.
Dude.
Ball 1.
They walked... Dude, they walked Kenny last time because they knew his power.
Lines 1.
I now know why they did that. It's because they know his power.
Is occupied. It's not a good look for him.
Yeah, never mind. We're good. Father, why are they, well, listen, Homunculus. They're trying to encourage you, okay?
Secret weapon always looks like he's ready to belt one out.
They're trying to encourage you, brother. Well, let's see if Pablo can do it this time. Because last time he was...
Out at first.
Oh, no.
The postage collecting kid has come to stamp out the competition. It's Reese Worthington up to bat.
Is our goat washed, chat? Is he washed?
To home runs.
The same exact spot. He just keeps belting it over there. Look at this. Reese Worthington is getting more than friggin' Pablo is. Go home, Pete.
This just got exciting.
Look at that effort.
What
Dude.
am I supposed to do?
Bless you. Mikey Thomas is...
Go and take a rest, brother. You've earned it. We're on the board.
And a powerful swing.
The same exact spot. Is our goat washed, chat? Is it like Lightning McQueen? Get out of there! No!
Run is done.
Okay, clearly hitting it like stray is not working out.
She is up to bat.
Kenny is a strong hitter. This young batter means business.
That one's headed left.
Nice. Nice.
Throws it over.
Runners on first and second.
Our goat is clean. Yeah.
Stance. I'm sure Stephanie...
Yeah, he's making sure that the outfielders can catch it clean, dude.
Baseball as well as Stephanie. She lives, breathes, and eats baseball. Well, I hope she does.
Smokes that one.
Oh, it's fair. It's fair, brother.
Rifles it. Bases are loaded, and the crowd is at the edge of their seats.
Just threw himself into it.
Whoa.
Good job, Reese.
Carrying the best
That's my boy.
It's
That's my asthmatic boy, Reese Worthington.
Goodbye home runs. Jorge would be unstoppable.
Here, let's see if he can get a home run.
hit hard.
He cannot get a home run, chat. That is not something that he can do.
Chomping at the bit to hit.
That is not.
Robinson.
Oh my God, Dante Robinson. Oh my God, no, he actually does make sounds. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, Woobs.
Strike one.
We're trying to tell you to get off the Cheeto sauce, if you know what I mean. On that style serum, he is.
Snags it off the dirt.
Wow! Have you ever seen
Here
such a
comes
play?
the neighborhood's newest ace, towing the rubber and ready to deal.
Every single one of these kids is Hiroshi Tanahashi, according to commentary. According to commentary, every single one of these kids is Hiroshi Tanahashi levels of good.
We've got a runner on first. Taking the mound today, this batter is cleaning the bases.
Now here's a kid who looks like they practiced their home run trot in the mirror this morning.
Oh, chat.
Rounder through the gap.
Recently, I've just not really been feeling like much of a gamer lately.
Runner on first and second.
I mean, like, I realize it's a crazy sentence to have come out of my mouth. But I've not been feeling like much of a gamer lately, just because, like, everything that's happening right now within the larger, like, you know, gaming space just makes me feel, like, disenchanted. Right, you know, I'm disenchanted with, you know, just the entire medium. I realize I say that, and I'm playing something like this, but this is, like, something that, even though it's not perfect, it's a full, like, complete thing, you know?
For life.
The Unya Mabel, I believe, is how you say it. Hello. Welcome on into tonight's Longboy Club meeting. You're now a member of the Longboy Club for life. Thank you, my friend. I was just talking about how most of modern gaming just doesn't really do it for me now. So I've been going back. Small games like this feel like they're a lot better than AAA nowadays. Thank you. That's kind of more what I was getting at. But like on top of that, I've also just been going back to, you know, games that I've, you know, either not played yet or haven't finished yet. Like, chat, did you know I've never played the entirety of GTA 5? You can call me Yam, by the way. All right, Yam.
Big dreams and a bigger swing.
The unyammable. What does it mean to be yammed, chat?
No pressure, kid. Just the entire neighborhood waiting to see if you're the real deal.
But no, like small indie slash, you know, AA games like this, I just feel a little bit better about playing them. You don't want to know. I'm afraid the scientific community, aka the Longboy Club, needs to know what it means to be yammed. Ah, dude, good job, Mr. Clanky.
That pitch had some serious.
Nice.
Strike 3.
Good job, Mr. Clanky.
That'll end this inning.
You'll get him in the next inning.
But no, did you know that I've never played the entirety of GTA 5 story? I've not. So I've downloaded the game again, or at least like I put it back in. I say download, but really what I did was I put the game inside the console. because really having a fucking disc, it doesn't really mean much, you know, these days, besides, you know, telling telling the console, hey, you need to download this game, right? But no, I've never finished the entirety of GTA story mode. So like I've been kind of playing it recently, and I'll tell you what, being a fan of American Truck Simulator has seriously like messed up my ability to play any kind of game where like,
Say goodbye.
you know, not driving well is encouraged, right?
Sidekick Teddy are at bat.
Because in a game like GTA,
Of a legendary ball player.
you're allowed to, and in many instances encouraged to like drive recklessly, right? But unfortunately, American Truck Simulator doesn't really encourage that. It encourages you to play, you know, like you're actually driving, you know, semi-professionally.
Batter beware, this one's raring to go.
You just hit it right to them. 3 up, 3 down.
This batter
Probably could have waited for a better pitch there, but whatever.
See if this
Being yammed sounds dirty.
or if they're just good standing.
I don't know, Chad. I mean, like, what's...
Sneakers.
You gotta play, like, your one bad delivery... Yes, exactly. And I don't know how to play that. I don't know how to play that way. Because not to toot my own horn, Chad, but I am a fantastic delivery driver. Absolutely no one... absolutely no one has this shit on me. I'm like that, okay? I'm like that. I'm just like that. I could fucking deliver, like... I could deliver yard trucks and insulation with the best of them. It doesn't matter. Alright? So, like, when I'm suddenly encouraged to, you know, drive recklessly, it's hard to switch my brain over to that. Right? Like, I'm over here, I'm, like, trying not to crash into other cars. And I'm just like, listen... If you can do that, rather if you want to do that, you can just do that. It's fine. You know? Like, you don't have to follow the rules of the road if you really don't want to follow them. It's absolutely fine.
First base is occupied. Look out! Here comes the newcomer.
But instead, I'm over here, I'm sitting at traffic lights sometimes. I'm like bobbing and weaving between cars because the last thing I want is to get Franklin's fucking white... is to get Franklin's white Corolla all like, you know, scratched up and dirty, you know?
Ready to rock this stadium.
Now,
I'm looking at Franklin's like bike and white Corolla. I don't want to get that shit like all scratched up and dirty, you know? I wouldn't appreciate that, and I know he wouldn't appreciate it either. Yes, exactly, it increases insurance premiums. And how do you think insurance premiums are in Los Santos? I'll tell you what, they're no good. Think of the increased insurance premiums. Exactly, like they're gonna friggin' jack him up on his insurance, and then how is he gonna pay his friggin' aunt to stay at her place then? I'll tell you what, he won't be able to.
One managed to slip through.
He's gonna have to move in, dude, he's gonna have to move in with like Stretch and Lamar. I don't think anyone wants... I don't think anybody wants that for him, not even his fucking aunt. No, come on! Please.
He got tangled up in the base path there.
Dude, the fielding in this is, like, honestly not really that good. Like, anytime it gets to the outfield, it's over. It's over. It's GG at that point.
Swing goes the batter. That's an out. Give it your best.
Dude, I just gave them a free run. I gave them a free run because I didn't have good game sense there.
Look out! Here comes the newcomer, ready to rock this stadium.
Game time.
We will not repeat that mistake.
Rips one. They've shut them down.
Get out. There you go. 2-1.
We saw a winner today, folks, but it wasn't without a few hiccups along the way.
You could say that again, brother. Everyone is a newcomer. Again, they're treating everyone... Dude, they're treating every new kid in this neighborhood like they're Hiroshi Tanahashi. Like they're peak Hiroshi Tanahashi. Instead, what I'm seeing a lot of is, like, current Hiroshi Tanahashi, where he has, like, legs made out of sugar glass, you know? Cement Gardens.
A hearty hi-ho to all sports fans from Sunny...
You know, it's very, very nice of, goddamn, Mr. Clanky to, clean the baseball grounds before playing the game himself.
Yo.
Alrighty then, Vinny. A lovely yo to all sports fans from Sunny Day and Vinny the Gooch.
Oh man, you didn't say it right at all. It's yo, not yo.
That's what I said. Yo.
We gotta work on your cool attitude, buddy.
Or your cheerful one.
All right, tell you what. You stick to your hi-hos, and I'll stick to my yo.
Someone didn't tell. Yeah, I know. Like, John powdered like he was facing, like, Hiroshi Tanahashi at the first Forbidden Door, and not, like, 2026 Hiroshi Tanahashi, where he's constantly walking around like he has something up his ass.
Let's get that ball in the air.
Peace be to Hiroshi, by the way. All peace to him. Let's see here. I think the batting lineup is just fine. I think the batting lineup is just fine at this point.
Knock it out of the park. Pete Wheeler has stepped up to bat.
Rumor has it that Pete once ran...
No, thank you very much for following, Yam. We're trying to get to 1,000 followers by the end of the year, by the way, chat. And if we do, we will hold 1K Mania, a celebration within the game Wrestling Empire, featuring big old dream matches, coming courtesy of the Lomboy Club members, the crowning of the first ever LBC Pro Champion, and much, much more.
Even though the secret weapon doesn't speak any...
So chat, if you're not following yet, and that sounds fun to you, if you're a fan of wrestling, sports titles, and other such fun stuff, then maybe you should give it a follow. I would really appreciate it.
Still some breathing room.
You're welcome. I was enjoying your baseball commentary and your giraffe. Are you a fan of wrestling by any chance? Because if you are, you're really gonna love it here, brother. I am a ginormous fan. Lifelong fan over here.
2 strikes.
Just now getting into, like, you know, stuff that's, you know, not the major 2... Rather stuff that's not, like, the big 2 promotions. But still. Oh, shit!
Pass the ball to your team.
Oh, shit! We got it! 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 Pete Wheeler's going home! Run! Run! Not particularly. I like wrestling games, though. They're always kind of neat. And we play a lot of those over here along with other sports games.
It's almost time for a 3-minute KFC popcorn chicken break, my dudes.
I haven't had KFC in years.
And that's a strike.
Usually if I'm getting, like, fast food chicken, I'll go for Popeyes.
That's one powerful strike.
Foul ball. Hit hard, past the mound.
Also, I saw that hit from Pablo. He might not be washed after all, chat. Good job, Pablo.
He's blown his nose. Now Now he's ready to blow the ball out of the park. It's Mike.
Chat, if you're gonna get fast food chicken from anywhere, where are you getting it?
Force on the plate. Just make sure.
Because, like, if you were me, and I know I'm me.
Round rule double.
Oh, nice!
First and second.
I know I'm me. So
Good for two.
if I were to get fast food chicken anywhere, it'd probably be Popeyes. I'm not gonna get, you know, the biscuit just because I think they're way too dry. But, you know, I enjoy their Cajun fries. I enjoy, you know, their mashed potatoes and mac and cheese and stuff. And their chicken is always really good. Mike. I had Mikey fly a little too close to the sun there.
Stance. I'm sure Stephanie is going to pop this one out of the park.
Bubbles knows
Whenever
that
KFC brings back the popcorn chicken, it's always so good.
enough time. She'll tell you all of it.
And I need to, like, probably have some of that then, because I've not had, you know, KFC for like a good minute there. Popeye's spicy chicken sandwich is consistently good. Do you have, like, the pickle with it, or do you have to take it off? I realized that besides the chicken and the mayo, the goddamn pickle's really the only other thing on it. But pickles are always weird to me, you know? Pickles are always weird. I like the taste of pickles. I just don't like the texture, you know? It's got weird slimy mouthfeel, and I don't like that. My autistic ass doesn't like that all too much.
Here comes the neighborhood's newest ace, towing the rubber and ready to deal.
A new face steps in as batter. Let's see if the kids got.
Let's see if he's a broken ladder.
There aren't many that can outpitch Kenny K. A spectacular combination of muscle and
We've
brains.
got a runner on
This
first.
kid is one of the cool.
Taking the mound.
Dude, they cannot stop talking about Kenny Kawaguchi. You forgot the pickle! Listen, that could never be me.
To see if you're the real deal.
I'm not the guy going up to the person saying you forgot the pickle. If they forget the pickle, I'm running up there and I'm giving them a big ol' kiss. Alright? Because I didn't want that shit anyways.
And that's a strike.
Sir, this is a Wendy's, and you didn't put the pickle on it. Just like I didn't ask you to. Why? Thank you. Thank you, good sir.
Chopper to third.
Dude, why are you going away from the ball?
Batter back to the dugout. To the moon.
I do not understand why the players just go away from the ball sometimes.
Plate with big dreams and a bigger swing. It's our favorite.
Now here's a kid who looks like they practiced their home.
Like, you
run
press on the
in
ball and the
every
kids near it will just stand in front of it. I don't know why they just don't go near it sometimes.
Right back to the pitcher. Wings it. What a
Nice.
snag.
Oh my god, I can fucking hear... I can hear Ricky Johnson on this team, dude.
Ready to rock the stadium.
Let's see if this kid can actually ball, or if they're just good standing there.
How about this, chat? They're all saying that these guys are like peak Hiroshi Tanahashi. Depending on who is like the highest in their stats at the end of the season, we're gonna fucking play Tanahashi's theme as their walk-up music when we get to the end of the season.
Ball go. One strike on the count.
I just think that would be fun.
Strike two?
I suggest you don't blink. Tracking it down.
Yes, yes, exactly. Like, it slimifies the breading and the chicken. It's like really like gross feeling. Especially when the pickle is like skinny and hot, like it's a McDonald's thing. Like that's fucking nasty, you know?
He can swing with the force of a truck. It's Mr. Clanky.
Nerves of steel. What
Like, everyone is like, oh yeah, McDonald's pickles. That, dude, McDonald's pickles stink. You know? They're always like hot and slimy. It like only amplifies the weird factor.
She's speedier than a grizzly and will run the bases before the catcher can even get the ball out of
Swing and a miss.
Line one.
Oh, okay, cool.
I'm glad I didn't break.
Whoa, what was that? Dude, can someone clip that? I need to go back and see that. Because I could have sworn that Luann's teddy bear just completely... it became a still life. It became a backroom still life there for a second. What? The teddy bear really did say, I am a fucking architect. I'm the architect of this game, dude.
Wheelie is the fastest member on the team, as long as he's headed in the right direction.
Someone go back and find that, because that was insane.
First base is occupied.
We've not really gotten, like, many home runs in this season yet. The only one that's come is from Mr. Clanky, I feel like. Bear jump scare. Okay, hold on. Chat, we need to see this together. Hold on. Whoa! Okay, great. What? Dude! What? Okay.
It's
Teddy
almost
became
time
a
for
long
3-minute
boy.
Cheetos
What?
break, my dudes.
The frickin' teddy bear became a long boy there. It stretched! This right here is what Luann's gonna remember her teddy bear being like in like 30 years. That's crazy. It's just the way we're wired, dude. There's no need to be afraid, Teddy. No need to be afraid of your longness. It's just the way we are wired. Proceeds to bite into my neck. Bruh. This is a very cool video game. Okay, cool.
Clobbered it.
But it's foul.
What we call a foul ball.
One's foul. That's a ball. Secretly one of those mini Freddy animatronics. Cinco noches con Alfredo. No way!
Use the aluminum power back.
They call that
We've got a runner on
just
first
that
and
in
second.
Australia,
Infamous
Miss
runners on
Brown.
first
You
and
know
third.
what I call
This
it?
Jesky may not be breathing easy, but Reese Worthington is
Huh?
all at bat.
Come on, pitcher. Give me the intentional walk.
Commentary, can you run that back to me? Because what you said made absolutely no sense. What? One at a time, please. Dude, commentary in this game is sometimes like you're in a call with like 5 other people and everyone's talking to each other at the same time.
Kid is about to bring some serious heat to the hill.
You have like 2 different conversations going on at the same time in the same call.
That'll do it for Here comes the neighborhood's newest ace, towing the rubber and ready to deal.
Ah yes, the best bat machine, Mackenzie S. It's that S, dude. It really is the Adventure 2 audio mixing. I love that.
Ball's been sent soaring through the sky.
Ah, dude.
We've got
Dude, you got the Brawl style tripping too. Dude, you have Adventure 2 audio and Brawl style tripping. This game is insane.
Let's see if the kids got the swing to
Let's see if they're a broken ladder.
solid hit.
Hey, look, it's Up Dog. What's Up Dog?
To the plate with big dreams and a bigger swing. It's our favorite.
Now here's a
It's our favorite. Now here's Hiroshi Tanahashi. I just love how Vinny just steamrolls Sunny Day like that. Vinny literally says, "Shut up, bitch."
Back towards the outfield.
That's a foul ball, brother.
Somebody get a broom. We've got a sweep job in the stands. And that's a ball, folks.
Okay, well, how about this?
Got a time to hit the ball.
Don't get too comfortable.
Here comes the neighborhood's newest ace.
I mean, with an inflection like that, I will not, brother. I will be in supreme discomfort now for the rest of this game. I hope you're happy. I hope you're happy because that was messed up. What?
Ready to deal.
Let's see if
Don't get too comfortable! Dude, his freaking nards dropped. I missed the cause of the supreme discomfort. Dude, this kid is in his 30s with a voice like that. What was that?
actually ball, or if they're just good standing there. Personally, I like the sneakers.
I am 12.jpg.
Smokes that one.
We've had multiple I am 12.jpg moments in this stream. He's gonna beat, dude, literally, like he's gonna freaking like, he's gonna challenge me to a fight like in the school playground. Listen, man. Trust me, I will not get too comfortable. I've never been so uncomfortable in all my life after hearing you talk. I promise, dude. I will be on edge for the rest of this.
It's almost time for the 3-minute Cheetos break, my dudes.
Hey, perfect timing. Well, while I take a minute to collect myself after that chat, let's go ahead and let's run the ad. See you all in a few minutes.
It's break time. Where are the Cheetos, my dudes?
Attention parents and grandparents of young children. Gerber Life is accepting applications for their affordable Grow-Up Plan. The Grow-Up Plan gives your child $10,000 in whole life insurance protection now, then doubles automatically to $20,000 later at no extra cost. Free information will be sent to parents and grandparents who call now. Help give your child a head start for just pennies a day. Don't wait. Call now for free information.
Call 1-800-829-8866. Call now.
It's all that cinnamon and sugar that makes those crunchy little squares so irresistible. Cinnamon Toast Crunch, part of this good breakfast. Crave those crazy squares.
There's a new pet.
Chia.
Chia Pets, the pottery that grows. And now Chia Garfield. And Scooby-Dooby-Doo. He's a Chia pet too. Raggy? Yes, even Shaggy. It's fun. Soak your chia, spread the seeds, and watch it grow.
Chia.
And now there's a bonus gift in every original Chia Pet box. A mini Chia Cuddly or a Chia alarm clock.
Chia.
Chia Pets. Collect them all.
Nom nom. Oh, excuse me, we're back, my dudes.
Yeah, welcome. Whoa, hello. Hi, welcome back to Raw, everyone. Let's continue on with this game. We're up by 3 here. At the top of the 3rd inning.
Mikey Thomas is up to bat.
He has a powerful
Let's do it.
and a powerful swing.
We have yet to see that powerful swing out of Mikey Thomas. We need like a good freaking pitch here. We need a good ass pitch here.
Another one bites the dust.
It's
Fed it right to the outfielder, dude.
Give me one right through the strike zone.
I feel like we need to like...
What a win!
I feel like we need to have a better look at this team, chat. Because we are now 2 up, 2 down.
Let's see if she can
Come on, Steph.
knowledge into a home run.
Few kids know baseball as well as Stephanie. She lives,
A solid
breathes,
pitch
and
with
eats baseball.
personality. Little blooper has him running.
Dude, they're always in position for the friggin' bloopers, but we can never be there. We are never there for the friggin' blooper hits. The only chance that we could get of like getting them out is if they hit a grounder. I feel like. Here we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna switch out Kenny here. Let's give it to Mr. Clanky. I'm trying not to call him Mr. Clanker because that's not his name.
Mr. Clanky is programmed for perfect pitching.
Mr. Clanky on the mound in an actual game. Good luck getting a hit today.
That one gets
Well, she just hit it, but listen, he freaking pitched it down in the strike zone. So, like, that was a very good way to get it to be a grounder.
ready to rock this stadium.
A new
Clanker?
is better. Let's see if the kids got the swing to match the swagger.
Rounder through the gap.
Ah, 3 grounders, 3 outs. Okay, exactly what I wanted to happen just happened.
Chills from that performance. Baseball never looked so good.
All right, so who's next? Oh boy, we're going up against the losingest team in this whole division. And dude, we're tied at first with the Rockets. Okay. Well, the All-Stars are definitely showing that they're the best at losing right now, and that will continue here today if sorry, if all goes according to plan. So who has the best batting average on this team? Pete Wheeler currently has the best. Bewilderingly, Jorge Garcia has a better batting average than Pablo Sanchez right now. Hey, hold on. Wait, are they the crazy all-star? They are the crazy all-stars. Yeah, they're crazy bad all-stars. Zach, I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, they're pretty crazy. Crazy at being terrible.
We've got 2 teams raring to play some ball. I'm Sunny Day here with Finny the Gooch today.
Hey there, everyone. Glad to be back behind the desk with a corn dog.
Really? That's a surprise.
My love for baseball and the sport is surprising?
You always said you hate
Holy shit.
something disgusting.
That's the sound that Vinny the Gooch's stale ass corn dog makes when it hits the floor.
Work smarter, not harder. Let's get right into the game.
It's a clash of the titans as Humongous Hornets faces off with Crazy All-Stars. You can feel the
I mean the L's that the All-Stars are taking are pretty titanic in size, you know. And the Hornets are currently at the top of the league, so we'll see how that plays out for them.
Mr. Clanky is here to show you the marvels of machine power.
With infinite stamina, Clanky is no joke.
There we go.
That swing must have been practiced for hours.
Nope. No. There we go. Yeah. That was a series of misclicks on my end. Okay, well now it makes sense why they're losing so much, because they have Lisa Crockett on the team.
Step on up and see if you can throw a giant gold ring.
Don't throw off my pitch, Zach.
Come on, let's go. Hurry.
Ah, you caused Lisa Crockett to get the hit.
You owe me $10 either way.
Dude, it is nearly impossible to get a freaking double play in this game, I feel like.
Batter is cleaning the bases.
The crowd is buzzing for the newcomer. No pressure, kid. Just
This man cleanup right here?
waiting to see if you're the real.
Ground ball up the first baseline.
Runners on first
Dude.
and second.
Dude, the fielding in this. Why does it not just leave the glove sometimes?
The newcomer, ready to
Like you press the button and nothing happens.
Kid can actually ball.
ground ball up the first baseline.
Bases are
I wouldn't have made it anyways. Also, Zach, you suck. You missed.
Towing the rubber and
Dude, am I about to jinx us? Like, did I just, like, jinx us by saying that this is the worst team?
those taters.
What are you doing?
They aren't messing around.
Mikey!
stepping up to the plate with big dreams and a bigger swing. It's our favorite.
A new face steps in as batter. Let's see if the kid's got the swing to match
Mikey.
the swagger.
Mikey, I am this close to taking you off the field, brother.
They didn't
This is inexcusable.
Another one.
look out.
I am so close to taking you off the fucking mound. Or rather, taking you off the plate. This is unacceptable, dude.
First baseline. That'll end this inning.
Good lord.
He's a wheelie going.
Dude, I was in here gassing up. Dude, I was over here gassing you guys up before we, before we walked out here, and you're doing this? Come on now. Let's be serious.
One strike on the count.
Let's be serious about this, okay?
Ooh, that pitch is sure to twist him up. That kid is gonna need a plane ticket to catch that one.
Picked up.
Ah, blooper. Or rather, like a friggin' fly ball.
Pablo's
Alright, Pablo, please. Do something, man.
pitch with personality. Where'd the ball go? That one's in.
Well, that was something. That was definitely fucking something, wasn't it?
The postage collecting kid has come to stamp.
Just do the line drive, dude. It's fine. Do the line drive.
Covers it.
Pressure will undermine your circulation.
He slides.
Runner on first.
Good.
He's
That's all we need.
blowing his nose. Now he's
That's all we need. Belt one out.
It's Mike.
Belt one out, Mikey, please.
This kid is an impressive force on the plate. Just make sure to...
And drove one deep.
I was not belting it.
That's one way to stop
We've
a
got
run.
a runner on first
But
and
no, like, all these kids throw the ball so slow in this.
fan favorite. Kenny Kawaguchi is up to bat.
Kenny is a strong...
Like, I feel like doing well at
business.
Clobbers it.
fielding is just a pipe dream.
That retires the side. That's a
Dude, are they about to get their first friggin' W at our expense? No. We will not let that happen.
Ball whizzes down towards center.
Good.
And that's a strike.
chopper to third. Plucks it.
Oh, Mr. Clanky! Mr. Clanky with the speed. Dude,
Slow roller to the mound. Here comes the neighbor.
dude, is it just me, or is Stephanie Morgan, like, really slow in the at shortstop right now?
Like they practice.
A tater to right.
Is she having a cold day?
Out of there.
Hold on, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna change up. We're gonna check their stats. Give me a second here. Because like cold and hot days have not really had a factor in our, in our lineup here yet. I mean, I want to say Jorge is, but like, yeah, you know, a cold day for him is relative to, you know, the rest of his skill set, which is not much at all. So, you know, make of that what you will. Nice. Guard to chase it. Chase. Yep. It shows me you will go for that shit. Low in the zone.
Right back to the pitcher. That's a
3 up, 3 down. Good. Good.
look at the stance. I'm sure Stephanie is going to pop this one out of the park.
Bubbles knows everything about baseball. And if
No,
you
chat.
give her enough time, she'll tell you all of it.
Wait, hold on.
Sit down the line.
God dang it, dude. We cannot stop.
Carrying the best bat money can buy. It's
We cannot stop hitting these balls into people's gloves.
Jorge would be unstoppable.
Got all of that one.
Run.
Ooh, that's just embarrassing.
Our favorite baseball bot is up
Fine.
to bat.
Fine. Belt it, Mr. Clanky.
One managed to slip through.
Belt it, Mr. Clanky.
Batter beware. This one's raring to go.
Yikes.
All right, we're locking in. We're locking in. Ball.
Ball 2.
I'd rather he not take the walk because if he takes the walk, then I think that Luann's after him.
With some heat.
Ball 3.
Full count.
Well, just give the batter a free walk.
Full count. Things just got interesting. Boom! Smoked. That's a wrap. You hate to see.
I hate to see it, yeah. I absolutely hate to see it, dude. Oh, man. Okay. Locking in. You know what?
Time to cut a promo on your team.
Do I need to? Okay. I'll cut a promo on the team. Well, I need the promo timer first. All right. I'm sending a message out to the Humongous Hornets, and all I had to ask is this. Are y'all having fun? Are y'all having a good time out there? Because I certainly am not. You're walking up here thinking that you're going to get orange slices and pats on the back end and everything that comes with the Little League, but no, we are in this to win. And when I look at you, I don't see winners. I see a bunch of dandelion picking, teat sucking losers. Now, if you want to stay in the league, great. If you don't want to stay in the league, fine, but you gotta say that right now. Because if you don't want to stay in the league, there are many other players out there that would like your spot. So maybe go back out there and play like you actually want to be here. Thank you. Go. That's all I gotta say on that, chat. All right, let's do it. We have one more inning to bring this back. We can do it. I have faith. We can do this. Especially if she chases like that. Especially if she's chasing shit like that. And that.
Gotta be careful.
That ball hit the stratosphere.
Okay, that right... No! Okay, good. Dude, why did he run past it?
This batter is cleaning the bases.
Let's see if this kid can actually...
Why did he run past the, like...
Personally, I like the speed.
Why did he run past the drop shadow? Also, hi, Deontay. How are you doing? Welcome on into tonight's Long Boy Club meeting. Dude, it's a pipe dream. Dude, like, when they hit it... Dude, when they hit it that far, it's a pipe dream. You're not going to be able to freaking, like... You're not going to be able to wrangle the ball up in time. It's just not going to happen. Doing well. How's the vibes? I mean, chat's been fun tonight. Chat's been very fun. Y'all are great. What's not great is the Humongous Hornets. And just, they're really shit playing.
Ooh, that's just embarrassing.
Like, they've just not been delivering where they need to.
Strike 3. Better luck next time. Drat.
See, now that right there is a kid voice. What we heard before, that man was, like, actually, like, 30 years old and threatening to fight me in the back of Applebee's.
The kid's got the swing.
That one gets through. Scoop.
Jorge, go back! What are you doing?
First and second.
The fielder's got it.
Jorge, come here.
A 2-for-1 special.
Get the fuck over here, you.
The mound today.
Get over here. Get over here. Get over here. First off, Kenny.
Would I be a better hitter, father?
You probably would be. You probably would be, honestly. I honestly don't know where to stick your sorry ass. I have no clue where to stick your sorry ass, Jorge. But since you just seem so gung-ho about running towards the ball, when you should be holding down first base...
The pitch is the coolest kid on the block, Kenny Kawaguchi.
Kenny Kawaguchi has a...
I just don't really know what to do with you.
A clean pitch down the line.
That little blue placenta
Like, oh my god! The hose! Alright. Go.
2 strikes. No pressure.
Slow ball. Or rainberry ball. What's this? It's the Gatorade ball, dude. Oh. She lost her bat.
Time to change.
She fucking threw she like threw her bat into like Steele's house like it was the show.
Some say that bear holds the spirit of a legendary
Yeah, apparently there's like Gatorade sponsorship in this game. I didn't know that until recently. But like literally the special pitch there, the Berry Blast or whatever it is, that is I mean that has a Gatorade logo. So
Smacks it down the line.
you need to run. Run!
Serotonin, please. Find his glass.
Ah, man! Okay, fine.
We have
Hi. Thank you very much for the serotonin. Ooh.
That ball was hit so high, I've got...
We've got a runner on
What?
first.
What? Okay. We take those. We take those.
Make it a double.
Out at third.
Ah! Why did I do that? Why did I do that? I could have just stayed there, dude. I could have just stayed there and it would have been absolutely fine. It would have been absolutely fine.
Line drive, straight up the middle.
It would have been absolutely okay. Now we are fighting underneath insane style here.
He may not be breathing easy.
No.
Should be playable. They've shut them down this inning.
Wow.
If it weren't for the fact I had a corn dog, I'd call this game a total loss.
Man. Calling it a total loss is very, very correct. They now have a win on the board and it's at our expense. Man. Okay, we need to step it up a little bit here. We are... Where are we in statistics? Where are we in terms of, like, league statistics? We're still at number 1, but we could be clinching it better if we beat, you know, the fishes here. Gave them the first win. Dude, we did. We handed it to them. I handed it to them with my incredibly poor coaching there. Like, that was incredibly, like, poor on my part.
Reporting to you live with Vinny the Gooch.
Say,
No.
have you ever wanted to join in on a good game of baseball yourself?
Deontay, you're gonna be happy about our team lineup here.
Sign-ups at the start of every
Look who's on the team here. Look who's look who's on the batting team here.
Oh, I don't know.
We got Stephanie Morgan here. Your goat.
Vinny, you aren't here to promote your book again.
That's what you think, but my book has all...
Because I have learned that she is no longer washed. She can actually do some things. I've yet to see those things.
Vinny,
For fucking sure, brother. Yes. It's like, hold on. Hold on. Can I tell who's having, like, a hot day and a cold day, or no? I honestly can't tell. Frankly, Stephanie Morgan has been really bad at shortstop. I'm gonna go ahead and switch some things around. Pete, you go up to center field. Clanky, you're second base.
Vinny that can outpitch Kenny K.
I tried with shortstop with her, and she's just not
kid is one of the coolest pitchers I know. And fast.
And she's just not delivering right now. That's crazy because I think she likes playing shortstop. I mean, she does, but it doesn't mean she's good at it. Like, Pablo is literally short. Like he was fucking built for this. You know? He's a short man playing at shortstop. Like, he was fucking, like he was built for this.
The crowd is buzzing for the newcomer. No pressure, kid. Just the entire neighborhood waiting to...
One strike. Still some breathing room.
He's standing up at shortstop being like, I'm like that. I'm like that, brother.
Snags it off the dirt. And the runner...
Throwing it to Kenny as the cutoff man was a good strategy.
Taking the mound today, this batter is cleaning the bases.
A new face step.
Cleaning the bases? They're already clean.
Kid's got the swing to match the swagger.
Ground ball up the first base.
I can fucking hear Ahmed.
All right, it's our turn now.
Okay, redemption from the last game.
We have Pete Wheeler stepping up to the plate.
Nah, they pretty dirty. I mean, like, listen, man, it's freaking Steel Stadium. They can't be that bad.
Ooh, a tricky play, batter.
Over to second. First base.
Only Pete Wheeler could outrun a swing like that.
The living legend.
Which means we need power from Pablo Sanchez.
The secret weapon always looks like he's ready to belt.
The purple shirt, dude, like the purple layer on Pablo's shirt is insane. Like you can see like the layering job done on it.
Fly alert! Out at first.
Dude, Pablo's been pop flying so much. It's actually insane.
Has come to stamp out the competition. All eyes are on the pitch.
Pablo has been pop flying so much in this season, it's insane. I think he might be washed. Not Reese. Dude, I mean, listen. I feel like Reese might be the white boy of the millennium. If Dimitri is the goddamn white boy of the year, Reese has got to be the white boy of the millennium. I mean, look at this guy.
He has a powerful sneeze and a powerful...
Look at this absolutely asthmatic stud.
That ball's got a chance.
Can't win again.
Yeah. It's got a chance to piss me off. What the heck, dude?
It's K-Man the Speed Demon.
Nah, I can't fuck Reese. Why not? Why not? What's wrong with him?
The last you'll ever see of it.
What the hell is wrong with Reese Worthington? What'd he do to you?
A solid pitch with personality.
That's one powerful strike.
That'll bring our team up.
Okay, you know what? Never mind. I don't fuck with him either. After getting out like that, I don't know if I mess with him either.
Here comes the newcomer, ready to rock.
I feel like we need to change our strategy a little bit.
Sent him scrambling.
Go to the ball, please. Why do you just not zero in on the ball?
With big dreams and a bigger swing, it's our favorite.
Let's see if this...
He just rolls right past it.
Standing there. Personally, I like the sneakers.
Rounder through the gap. Throws it to the mound.
Wow.
Nice.
Such a play. The mound today. This batter is cleaning the bases.
Now here's a kid who looks like they practiced their home.
Listen, man, it's pretty.
This morning.
If the bases are really dirty, then that's on Mr. Clanky because he's supposed to be cleaning this stuff in between every game. So it's like I don't know what the holdup is, but that's just not happening now.
Those fielders are gonna need to man a blimp to catch that one.
We've got a runner on first.
Okay, fine. He focused on pitching.
Higher for this one. Ernie up to bat.
You gotta admire the kid's moxie. And
He is, in fact, the cleanup pitcher. Rather, he is the closing pitcher for this game, so...
A swing and a miss.
Kenny and Mr. Clanky start... they start and close, like, alternating games.
that kid is gonna need a plane ticket to catch that one.
The fielder dives for it.
But she was exhausted, dude. That was insane, gimme.
Here comes the neighborhood's newest ace.
I love Hiroshi Tanahashi.
Right back to the pitcher. That's a wrap.
Like a beetle on...
There we go.
No one has studied baseball like Stephanie Morgan.
Here's your goat.
She can translate that knowledge into a home run.
Few kids know baseball as well as Stephanie.
Here's your goat.
Breeds and eats baseball.
A long one and deep.
You can't win them all.
I don't know. Dude, I don't know what to do. I feel like that we fucking picked a pretty, like, Garbo stadium here.
That's a ball.
You know what? I blame myself.
Smacks it down the line.
Finally, we have a hit in this godforsaken game.
First
Wow.
base is occupied.
It was Jorge Garcia that got us there.
With the force of a truck, it's Mr. Clank.
Mr. Clanky.
Nerves of
Hit it.
steel. What else do you...
Those kids are gonna wish they had my sunglasses.
Straight to second.
I pressed the wrong button. Jorge got a hit and then he got out because I made him slide instead of dash.
She's speedier than a grizzly and will run the bases before the catcher can even get the ball out of the glove.
Hit hard, past the mound. That'll end this inning. That's
Damn it. Okay, fine. 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 You know what, Mr. Clanky? I want you up here. I want you up here right now, dude. I want you up here at this moment in time. You come on.
Mr. Clanky is programmed for perfect pitching.
Mr. Clanky...
Chat. A lot of the music in this game, especially like the remixed stuff in like, the in the menus and the results screen. It makes me think of Walmart Core. It makes me think of Walmart Core a little bit. Although it's not quite as... although it's not nearly as, like, weird as it, It's not nearly as, like, off-putting as it.
The defense takes care of...
And I say that because, like, Walmart Core has gotten weirder, chat. I try to avoid Walmart, now that I don't work there anymore.
No pressure.
But when I do go there, I'm just met with, like, the craziest goddamn music polls I've ever seen. Walmart Core, yeah. Like, music you would hear at Walmart, right?
He's really going to knock it out of the park. Pete Wheeler has stepped
It's a musical genre I'm all too familiar with since I worked at Walmart for like 10 months,
Got a hold of it.
Thankfully, I no longer... Dude, why do we keep feeding them? Put some power behind it, dude. Good lord. Pablo, take it home.
And popped up. Nice play by the defense. He may not be breathing easy, but...
Good lord. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing?
Hit hard.
Carved it like a turkey.
A little outside.
That's a ball, yeah.
Ball one.
Dude, we just need one run, and then we're golden. Okay? We need one run, and then we're good. We're golden after that.
Right under it. That retired over to...
Of course.
Taking the mound today, this batter is cleaning the bases.
Okay, I was about to say, I looked at that, like, juice on Mr. Clanky, and I was like, dude, he's already that tired, but no. The reason I say why Walmart Core is getting crazier is that, I walked in there the other day. It was, like, 6 a.m., and I just wanted to go in there and, get some milk, right? And what did I hear over the intercom? I heard the credits music for the My Little Pony movie. Like, the song that Sia made for the movie. Right?
Cleaning the bases. Get ready to see some baseball.
I saw, like, I heard that, and, like, I was just like, huh? It's getting weirder. It's stranger now. You know? I heard the Sia song, Rainbow, that she made for, you know, for the movie, and I was just sitting there like, I sat there and I was like, wait, what? And I Shazammed the song, right? Because I wanted to see, you know, like, what Shazam would associate it with, because I thought to myself, okay, you know, maybe she put it, like, on a, you know, like, on one of her actual records, or maybe a compilation of some kind, right? No! When I Shazammed the song, it gave me the single as a result. The single with the movie's art on it. And I'm just like, okay. Okay. This can officially get no more weird than it already is. Like, what are we doing here now?
Drove it down the right field line.
What the
And that's a point.
Dude.
Sings it over to
When you Shazam, the result was a DMCA claim.
or homers. Ernie Steele.
I mean, I didn't use it. I just fucking Shazammed it. Although that probably would be a Sia move. Honestly.
One managed to slip through.
But, like, I'll never be fully rid of these ponies and the feel-good vibes they give me, chat.
That one's
I may be a wrestling guy now, but I'll never be free of this fucking horse stuff, okay? I'll never be truly free of it.
Look out! Here comes the newcomer, ready to rock.
I'll never be free of this bullshit. Even though I'm not really in that circle anymore.
A grand slam! Is there any sight more beautiful?
That'll leave a mark on the scoreboard.
Look out! Here comes the newcomer, ready to rock this stadium.
Sit your ass down. Go to sleep. You know, give us all a break.
Dude. What are we doing? What are we doing, man?
A new face steps in as batter. Let's see if the kids got the swing to match the swagger.
You thought that was us for a second, Deontay? Well, newsflash. It was not.
Beware, this one's raring to go. That's strike
not.
two.
It's not. It's not.
Rounder to left field. That'll bring our team up to bat.
I'm distraught. I need a minute to recover from that. Good lord.
Mikey Thomas is up to bat.
We need to have, like, a star-studded inning here, otherwise we're not gonna get this done.
Strike one.
The defense is set, and our newcomer is on the mound. Batters beware.
And that's a ball, folks.
Locking in, chat.
2 strikes. Pressure's on. Ready and waiting.
That's one way to
got a
stop
runner
a
on
run.
first and second.
Between a
Back
rock
to the
and a
dugout
hard
for that.
Oh my god, I forgot! I forgot we had a second baseman there with friggin' Reese.
Kenny is a strong hitter. This young batter means business.
A swing and a miss.
And that's a strike.
Got all of that one.
They can't all be winners.
Ah!
Look at the stance. I'm sure
Stephanie, please, do something. Anything.
smokes that one.
Guess he got tangled up in the
It's
basement.
just that I can't lie. That was one of the roughest losses I've ever seen.
At least I can now play in Sandy Flats, I guess. Good lord. Okay, well, where are we in the thing? I am devastated now, chat. At least comparatively to the rest of, you know, the, compared to the rest of it, it was... Chat, I can't even make words now. I can't even make words now. I am so distraught. Why can we not do fielding to save our life? Why are we missing basic plays? Why, dude? What is happening here? These are plays I would have gotten in the previous games.
Sunny day here, ready for some baseball with my trusted
We're gonna fucking do it this time, chat.
I've been demoted to sidekick now?
No, Vinny, you've been promoted.
I'm about to demote this entire team now, speaking of. just do it all over again. It doesn't matter.
We have Humongous, Hornets, and Little.
Okay.
Mr. Clanky is here to show you the marvels of machine power.
I heard Define dancing from the Wall-E soundtrack walking into a mall a couple Wednesdays ago and freaked the fuck out. Like, it's honestly insane what they'll play in there, dude. Like, Walmart Core will be really weird, right? Because, like, most of it is, like, stomp, clap, hey stuff, right? And then every so often you'll get, like, Empire Ants by Gorillas. Nice. And other times you'll get, like, Empire Ants by Gorillas. Or Rainbow by Sia.
It's Sally Dobbs to bat.
And it'll just absolutely stun lock me.
I think we'll need to see a few more solid home runs.
And it will remind me that no matter what I do, no matter how hard I try, these horses will never, ever leave me. They will never, ever leave. These horses will never, ever leave me. They'll never leave me fully, chat. And that's just something that I need to deal with over time.
I could have hit a home run if I wanted to.
Oh, really? How is Jorge one of the better hitters? We need to check his stats because that feels like it shouldn't be the case, right?
Ready to deal.
Let's see if this kid can actually
A
ball.
solid pitch with personality. What a hit. All right, it's our turn
Like,
now.
we just keep on tripping in the outfield.
Confused. We have Pete Wheeler.
I don't know how we just keep on tripping in the outfield like this. We're just not playing clean baseball right now.
That's a strike.
We're just not playing clean, solid baseball right now. And it's really, really killing us.
Strike 3. Better luck next time.
The living legend,
Great.
Pablo Sanchez, is here to show us how it's done.
Wait, did he say, "Aw shit, I'll get him next quarter"? That's crazy from my boy Pete. Aw shit, I'll get him next quarter. Man, really showing that he is one of the oldest players in the game.
Runner on first.
Listen, Pete, I'm right there with you. You know, I'm right there with you. It's saying, "Aw shit." Aw shit, here we go again.
Right back to the pitcher. Out at second.
Now
We've got a
kid
runner
has
on
mercy.
Fine, you know what, Reese? Even though you got Pablo out,
On his nose. Now he's ready to blow the ball out of the park. It's Mikey Thomas.
Mikey, show your power, man. Show your power.
Just make sure to sanitize.
Right under it.
That is not showing power, dude.
Time to
Ah! Why are we not showing power here, dude?
Here comes the newcomer.
Maybe I just need to hit it like a little bit later.
Batter beware. This one's raring to go. Up it goes.
Nice job. Nice job, Luann. Good job. Walmart will go from modern day generic pop hits to somehow playing South of Heaven by Slayer. No, literally, they will bombard me with like 5 to 6 2010s millennial stomp clap hey anthems. Like my veins are being injected with Imagine Dragons, Mumford & Sons, One Republic. I was trying to think about the name. And then all of a sudden, I will hear Gorillaz. And not like, oh, they're gonna play their only, like, right, they're gonna play them, Feel Good Inc., even though they do play that sometimes. With the rap part removed. Like, they removed De La Soul. Right? They removed De La Soul from Feel Good Inc., and they're like half the track. Why would you do that? You somehow had to make it even more white. Like, listen, I get it. You do not want them rapping about lighting them up like ass
It's
cracks.
almost time for a 3-minute Cheetos break, my dudes.
But, like, there's a censored version with the De La Soul part, you know? There are censored versions with the De La Soul part. I don't expect, you know, 55-year-old mother Gretchen to, like, get down to hazmats, gas masks, lining them up like ass cracks in, like, the dairy section. I don't expect that. But what I do expect is for you to not whitewash gorillas like this. You know? Like, that's just rude.
They're unstoppable.
There are many things to be mad at Walmart about.
Big dreams and a bigger swing. It's our
Benefiting from people off of SNAP benefits, paying them poverty wages,
Waiting to see if you're the real deal.
arbitrarily changing schedules at the last minute, and the fact that they censored De La Soul in their cut of Feel Good Inc. Those are the those are the 4 things that you should be mad at them about.
It's K-Man the Speed Demon up to bat.
If this kid makes good contact with the ball, it's the last you'll ever see of it.
Slobbers it.
No way! Kenny Kawaguchi! Finally! We're showing some life in this team!
When you've got plays like
That's Kenny! By God, Kawaguchi! Kenny! Kenny! Dude. Stunt on him, brother.
I'm sure Stephanie is going to pop this one out of the park.
Wow.
Bubbles knows everything about baseball. And if you give her enough time, she'll...
Dude, he wheelied in!
Rips one.
Okay, well, listen. Not all of them can be winners.
Dugout for that kid.
Kenny is the... Dude, Kenny and Mr. Clanky are the goats of this team. And they're the pitchers!
About to lay down the law on
Meanwhile, Jorge Garcia's over here hitting, like, line drives like they're going out of style.
Straight back to the
Okay, never mind.
Out at first.
Yeah,
Our
I feel
favorite
you, brother.
baseball bot is up to bat.
Wow.
Up to bat.
Kenny Kawaguchi, dude.
Play. Line drive. That'll bring our team up to bat.
Listen, that's fine. We are up. As long as we can hold this down, Kenny's sole home run will get us back into the conversation here.
Chucks it over to second.
Runner on first.
Like, they don't just automatically go towards the ball. Did you ever use Vinny the Gooch? I did. In fact, Vinny the Gooch is on one of the other teams here.
Ready to deal.
A new face steps in as batter. Let's see if
When they play Mumford & Sons, did they at least play Little Lion Man so you could do an air banjo solo in the sporting goods section? I mean, when I hear Mumford & Sons at Walmart, pretty much the only thing I ever hear from them is, I will wait for you. That. That song. That's like all I ever hear from them.
Lobbers it.
Come on!
Runners
Dang it.
First and second.
I will wait for you.
Hello,
That song. Did your best hitter eat their pancakes?
Just the entire neighborhood waiting.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were talking about delicious pancakes. Reference.
A tater to right field. Flux it.
What? Why are you not on base? Get on base! Why are we not on base? Why are we not on base?
A valiant swing, but no dice.
Ooh, that's.
Why are we not holding down the bases? God.
Right field. Nice play. One less runner on the bases.
Ah, good lord.
They're on the board. The boss has come to take control of the game. It's Zap.
I'm actually like... No. Hold on. Kenny?
It's almost time for a 3-minute Cheetos break, my dudes.
Get up here. You get up here. Also, hi, Ray J. Welcome on in.
Peach is the coolest kid on the block.
Welcome on in, bud. How are you doing?
Kenny Kawaguchi has a generational
That
arm.
pitch is straight out of a video.
Oh, hey! Oh, hey!
Lupo sent him running.
No!
Look out! Here comes the newcomer, ready to rock the stadium. It's game time! A swing and a miss! One strike.
To be fair, that one was kind of on me.
That's two.
Get him out, Kenny.
Let's see if you can handle this.
Throw him a grounder.
Grounder to left field. Scoops it up.
These kids are chomping at the bit to.
Holding it down there. Good.
Look out! Here comes the newcomer, ready to rock the stadium.
It's time to break the bat.
Cool.
Hit.
Break it then.
Side.
Hold it down! Pablo and Mikey! Let's do it. Okay.
Teddy are at bat.
Some say that bear holds
Alright, Luann, take it home.
legendary ball player.
Take it home.
That's why Luann is such a great player. I just made Steve Reich one.
Give me a different pitch, brother. Give me a different pitch.
Chopper to third. Too slow.
That player was robbed.
Man. Come on now. Pete Wheeler.
And that's
Pete Wheeler.
What a rip!
Pete Wheeler!
Runner on first.
Oh my gosh. Pablo, redeem yourself. Do it.
Pablo Sanchez walking up to bat.
The secret weapon always.
Do it, Pablo. Take it home.
A long one and a
Oh, nice. All right, we'll keep him right there. We got to play it safe. Play it safe here.
The postage collecting kid has come to stamp out the competition. It's Reese Worthington up to bat.
We're kind of fucked here, dude.
Fielders
I'm not gonna lie.
stand back for this one.
We're a little bit fucked here.
Steve Reich won.
Your calculations. Grounder to right field. Snags it off the dirt. Out at first.
That's fine. That's fine. We just need to get Pete home.
Mikey Thomas is up to bat.
Mikey,
Has a powerful,
just find a hole.
powerful swing.
Find a hole and let him run. No way! They're walking Mikey Thomas!
It's K-Man the Speed Demon up to bat.
Dude,
It's my time to shine.
come on, Kenny. You could do it. No! Are you kidding me? Just fed it right to the glove, dude. Okay, fine. Well, you know what? So far we're holding it down. Which, you know what? It's better than I thought it would be. But we gotta, like, really, really lock in here if we want to win this. So we'll take a bit of a Gatorade break. We'll come back.
It's break time. Where are the Cheetos, my dudes?
Looks like you could use one of these. You can get into the action with one of these handheld Sonic games in every McDonald's Happy Meal. I'm loving it.
America's #1 selling DVD is being hailed by critics as one of the best DVDs ever.
Prepare yourself to enter a world you have only imagined.
Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, now available on Disney DVD.
Hey guys, what sounds good? I want kid cuisine! Whoa!
You can brush up on fun with my Kid Cuisine Cheese Pizza Painter Meal. Use the special pizza sauce packet to paint your own masterpiece.
Like this?
You Van Gogh, girl.
Well, what about mine?
A pizza's worth 1,000 words, and the peaches and pudding keep the fun rolling. Clean up in the freezer aisle. Mealtime is fun time with Kid Cuisine.
You say good morning, I say good night. Such a wonderful day when the sunlight came.
Now you can use your finger to keep Kirby on the right path and out of trouble. Kirby Canvas Curse for Nintendo DS. Rated E for everyone.
New sprinklers, candy-coated ice cream.
Fetch, Duke.
Nice throw, doofus.
Popsicle zone. Ho-ho!
आओ चलकर हैप्पी मील खाए और मैकडॉनल्ड से सेगा गेम्स लाए टेल सॉकर सोनिक स्केटबोर्ड रोग एंड एमी टेनिस ग्रीन पफ फ्लावर कैच शैडो बास्केटबॉल नकल्स बेसबॉल जी भरकर फिर खेलें, खूब हल्ला गुल्ला मचाएं और दोस्तों को भी बतलाएं। चलो चलकर हैप्पी मील खाएं। चलो चले मैकडॉनल्ड से सेगा गेम्स लाएं। I'm loving it.
Nom nom. Oh, excuse me, we're back, my dudes.
And welcome back to Raw, everyone. Let's try and do something here. We've been on a bit of a losing streak lately.
Look out! Here comes the newcomer, ready to rock the stadium. Watch me go!
We've been on a bit of a losing streak here, but we can get it back.
A little dribbler.
It does not take much to get back into this game.
You're it. Give it your best shot.
Oh shit.
Third. Look out!
Watch out.
Here comes the newcomer, ready to rock this stadium.
Is that why your glasses were foggy? Yeah, I was locked in, dude. That's my locked in face right there.
Huh? And that's a strike.
If anything.
This cannon is loaded. Now is not the time to choke. 2 strikes.
Let's hit him with the hook.
Chopper to third. The fielder's got
Can you go towards the ball, please?
They aren't messing around.
Yipes!
Here, how about this? What happens if I just let it go, dude?
That one's rolling.
You're on the wrong team.
Up with it. Now
That was a nice play.
They just, like, stall, dude.
Taking the mound today, this batter is cleaning the bases.
I would like to try, like, the GameCube backyard sports games.
Good standing there. Personally, I like the sneakers.
One strike on the count.
Great, we're fighting from underneath now. Great. Great. We're fighting from underneath now, dude.
You can kiss that ball goodbye. It won't be back anytime soon.
That kid is
Dude.
playing like a video game.
Woohoo!
Wow.
Taking the mound today, this batter is cleaning.
Dude, we just cannot catch a break here. We had a strong start, and now we're just completely...
That retires the side.
Now we're just completely... just choking it.
Has studied baseball.
Absolutely choking it right now.
Let's see if she can translate that.
I have no faith in this team, honestly.
Lions won.
Especially when we hit it right to the friggin' field like that. Well, at least Kenny made it.
He's bonkers at batting. It's Jorge Garcia.
You know what?
If money
Jorge, you've been really surprising me so far this season. Hit one out.
Rounder to left field.
That player is sent straight back to the dugout.
Our favorite baseball bot is up to...
Alright, cool. Hit it out.
Strike one.
Hit it right out of the park, brother. You can do it.
There's 2 strikes. No more room for error here. Got a hold of it.
Foul ball.
I thought that was going to get caught, so honestly, that's probably the best thing to happen.
Ball 1.
Very long at bat here so far.
That's one powerful strike.
Ah, nice. We take those all day long.
A run was just scored.
Let's go. Little Luann Louie loops up to bat.
Don't underestimate her. She's speedy
Orange ball
and will run the base.
with a Gatorade symbol on it? Okay.
That was a ring heard round the neighborhood.
Wings it.
Runners
Playing it safe. Ain't no way we have an AI in baseball.
Wheelie going to knock it out of the park. Pete Wheeler has stepped up to bat.
Unless it's Pablo, I am not trying for it, dude. And even if it is Pablo, I'm not going to try for it.
Strike 1. That one gets through. That had the distance, but not the direction.
It's a ball.
Yikes.
Ah. Ball.
That's ball.
Are they going to walk Pete Wheeler?
That one gets through.
No.
That'll bring our
3 in a row. 3 losses in a row, chat.
That was a nail biter, but it ended up looking more like a bad haircut.
3 in a row, dude. I don't think we're going to make it. Hold on. Let's see the team standings. We are number 5 right now. We still have half the season to go. We can make it. But it's going to be pretty goddamn close. We can make it. We can make it. This is where you give the team a pep talk. All right. Well, listen, team, we are halfway into the season and we have comfortably lost our position at the top. It may look a little bleak right now, but we still have half a season left to go. It's not over until the whole season's over. Until then, we play our hearts out and we try our best to play good, clean baseball. Yeah, take a knee, team. Take a knee, team. Except you, Kenny. You stay where you are. You pop a wheelie or something. Things look rough right now, but it's not the end. We could still make it to the playoffs. I see this team, and we drafted some of the best and brightest that this town has to offer. But now you have to go out there and show them why you are the best and brightest. I wasn't even thinking about Kenny. You stay where you are, Kenny.
Hi-ho, everybody. It's a
Kenny summons all the power that he has to get up out the chair.
Well, you know what they say about
looking up.
Now get out there and show them why you are humongous.
Wheelie is the fastest member on the team, as long as he's headed in the right direction.
Rounder through the gap. Throws it over. First base is occupied. The living legend, Pablo Sanchez, is here to show us how it's done.
Ball.
A little outside. Ball 1.
I will say that putting this on the second highest difficulty has really made it so that, oh my god!
Runners on first and second. This is painful to watch.
I keep thinking that spacebar is sprint.
May not be breathing easy, but Reese Worthington is.
God damn, I didn't even think about Kenny. How could you not? He's Kenny by God Kawaguchi, dude. He's the GOAT of this team.
Stopped cold.
He is the fucking GOAT of this whole team. And you're saying, oh, well, I forgot him. Well, he forgot you.
That one gets through. The fielders got it. Stopped cold.
Okay, good. We're on the board. Good job, Pete.
Today.
Rah, 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 go.
Always a fan favorite.
God damn.
Strong hitter.
That's some spirit right there, Pete.
Drilled it into left field. The throw.
He's safe. Good. Okay.
I'm sure Stephanie is going to pop this one.
So if Stephanie could get a home run anywhere, it's probably right here, right?
Plenty of time for this one.
She will not, but she will lob it up.
Bases are loaded, and the crowd is.
All right, we're getting hits. We're getting hits, dude.
That money can buy. It's.
I swear, if Jorge Garcia can hit this one out in the park, I will gift a sub.
Ooh, a tricky play back.
Not quite,
Here's a
but he's doing pretty good.
I haven't seen anything this crazy since the game of 1997.
Goes for the slide.
Good about this.
Nice.
Incredible. A run was just.
He can swing with the force of a truck. It's Mr. Clanky.
Nerves of.
That's why Kenny's the GOAT. At the very last minute, he got there.
That'll end this inning.
And that has us sitting pretty. Pretty. Yes, I'm good with words. I'm very good with words. That has us sitting real pretty here at the top of the first inning.
Paper people. Dimitri coming up to bat with some brain-bending strategies.
His strategies are.
Oh wait, we already faced this team. I recognize this now. We got Dimitri here to start us out.
Smokes that one. Don't mess up.
They're so slow in the outfield. They are the slowest in the outfield, dude.
This cannon is loaded.
Everyone go to the right, including you, Pete.
One strike.
Nice.
Still some breathing room.
Good job. Old Kenneth has it in him.
2 strikes. No pressure. Strike.
His fucking wheelchair of power is unmatched.
Pure power at bat. They don't call Keisha Phillips Slugger for nothing.
I heard Keisha once hit a ball so hard that the seams fell off.
A clean pitch down the line.
Where'd the ball go?
Ball is still in play.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
Second. Fires it over.
Come on.
Look out! Here comes the newcomer, ready to rock this stadium.
Now
I
here's
could have sworn we could have tired Dimitri out.
run trot in the mirror this
Not to be though.
One managed to
What the? Hey, hey, hey! You!
Wow, kid.
What the? No! Get back over there! What are you doing? Catch the ball! Keisha had French toast sticks.
slings it.
Well, at least we kept Dimitri at third.
12 miles per hour. Rounder to left field. Bases are loaded, and
I don't know why, but I figured that Dimitri would try and run off of that. Not to be though. Close not to be though.
Where'd the ball go?
Nice.
And that's a strike.
Rounder to left field.
Interception.
What?
He got tangled up in the.
I'm sorry.
Like that, they're on the board.
We gave
Here comes the neighborhood.
Dude, it flew right over him. Did you see that? Chiefs plays backyard baseball, and that's been stuck in my head ever since. Okay, well, like, I didn't understand what you were saying there, so thank you for clarifying that.
Where'd the ball go? 2 strikes.
Alright, here we go.
Strike 3.
Good job, Kenny.
It's our turn now.
Bait him into it. Dude, Kenny's getting them to chase so much.
Hit hard.
Nice!
Wings.
Don't fly too close to the sun. Just stay at first.
Looking a bit confused, we have Pete Wheeler stepping up to the plate.
Alright, we're gonna have Luann steal this next one.
And that's
That was the... Yep, what?
Somebody call security.
I'm sorry. Excuse me. What was that? Chat, did you see that? What was that phantom reach he had? Did you see that? There's no way that... There is zero chance that the ball actually went... Dude, there's zero chance that the ball actually, like, beat us over there.
Sanchez walking up to bat.
Even
That was some phantom reach right there.
any English, we all know he's a rat.
Why? Okay, well, here's my question then, Ray. Why is Keisha eating French toast sticks?
Sunglasses.
Taking the mound today, this batter is cleaning the bases.
the crowd is buzzing for the
Like,
new
what? In the words of the hurricane, what's up with that?
And a miss.
What's up with that?
1 strike. Still some breathing room.
Hi, Teddy. How you doing tonight? Welcome on into tonight. We have a lot of, like... Dude, we have a lot of people here tonight coming, like, in and out. Thank you all so much. This has been very fun, even though we've been losing. I'm still having a lot of fun here tonight, and I'm very happy to have you all here with me.
Ah, drat.
Phantom Reach. Okay, good. Thank you. We need to see that again. Yeah. Can we get that instant replay going here? Come on, give us that instant replay. What? Look at this, chat. Look at this play. He doesn't even grab it. It just hits the ground and then he catches it. What? What kind of bullshit is that? That is straight up unfair. What? Okay, well, I think we found a new glitch to report. Okay. The ump is not just blind. He straight up is missing an eye. That's insane. That is not an out, dude. That should have been a save. He was like several feet away from it. He used the force. He may as well have got that magnet glove. Dude, he literally has the phantom reach. What was that? Okay, well, I'm not going to forget that. Thank you. Thank you for clipping that. Wow. That's just unfair, dude.
A a long fly. Just foul.
I suggest you don't blink.
Dude, he's over there using the fucking dark side of the force to be good at baseball.
Ooh, that's just embarrassing.
Dimitri's calculations are actually just him, like, playing with, like, the force ball in A New Hope. That's what he means by calculations. Also, hi. Hi, Waffle. How you doing here tonight?
Gotta watch your kneecaps on those taters. No one gets past these kids.
Especially Jorge Garcia, who's actually turning out to be kind of the GOAT here.
Let's see if this kid can actually ball, or if they're just good.
Strike one.
Dude, you're getting them to chase so much, Kenny. You're doing incredible, honestly.
Runner on first.
Good, bit surprised there's still people streaming at this hour. I mean, it's...
Dmitri Petrovich.
I mean, it's 11:41 on our Saturday night, so... I'm glad that you decided to come over to my neck of the woods. We're having a lot of fun over here.
Ball two.
Okay, he's not chasing. We need to actually, like... Oh, boy.
To catch that one.
Nice job, Luann. You saw it coming and you didn't flinch. Good job.
Is calm at bat.
What's good to hear it? Dude, what's good to hear, Idea Maker?
Ball one.
The ball whizzes down towards center. And that's a strike.
You know what? Deontay. And the reason why we drafted Reese was because the Long Boy Club wanted him here.
That's an out. Oh.
I like Reese. I mean, he is the white boy of the millennium. But that doesn't change the fact that he's a little shit, innit?
Into the gap it goes. Out at first.
Still a little bit shit, innit?
It's K-Man the Speed Demon up to
Okay, we can widen our lead a little bit here, I feel like.
A valiant swing, but no dice.
Strike one.
Yeah, try that again.
Ball whizzes down towards center.
Ball.
And that's a ball, folks.
Got all of that one.
And
who's saying gabagool? What 35-year-old man is saying gabagool in the stands?
That pitch is sure to twist him up.
Rips one.
Watch out, birds.
That swing must have been...
Kenny is ensuring that this pitcher gets tired, dude.
Pizza.
A solid pitch with personality.
It's
nice.
Straight back to the outfield.
Chucks it over. First base is occupied.
Dude, Kenny is cerebral at this game.
Look at the stance. I'm sure
Hitting home runs, getting strikeouts.
I modeled my stance out.
Making sure that the at-bats go long. Like he's got this shit on lock. Does Kenny Kawaguchi.
This batter is cleaning the base.
Kenny, it's time for you to take a break, though. Let's get Mr. Clanky in there. Kenny Carrion. Kerry Kawaguchi, more like.
Programmed for perfect pitching.
Mr. Clanky on the mound.
Actually, no. I mean, that doesn't make a lot of sense, because Kerry is a name.
Hey, rip. Sugar crush. Easy out for
nice.
The defense. Pure power at bat. They don't call Keisha Phillips Slugger for nothing.
Check your watch. It's Keisha time.
Alright, Keisha.
Solid hit. Lays out.
Dang it.
Got
I enjoy the dive mechanic, but I just feel like it's a little clunky. You know? I almost want to try this game with a controller to see how it is, because on mouse and keyboard, the fielding is just not good.
Wing goes the batter.
These kids are chomping at the bit to prove themselves.
He fucking tripped on his way back! And this guy is the MVP of the team?
This
Batter
This guy? Really?
Rounder through the gap. Picks it up. Side retire.
There we go.
At least
I really think it might be the stadium that we picked, chat. We're actually, like, winning these games now. Kind of. Well, let's see. Let's see. Because... Fraud Watch. Yeah. Fucking Steel Stadium is on Fraud Watch now. How can I tell if someone's having a good day or not? Because I genuinely don't know. I don't feel like that we've had to really worry about that, like, at all this season. Everyone's been just kind of more or less at, you know, the top of their own game. They've been kind of, you know, on top of it. They've been, like, having their vitamins, saying their prayers, all that shit.
greetings and salutations. The resplendent sunny day here with my unflappable
Resplendent.
Minnie the Gooch.
I knew it was a mistake to let you borrow my thesaurus.
Lament no longer. My heightened articulations will desist at the appropriate juncture.
What?
Cease your vexation, and let us partake in the spectacle of orb and cudgel.
Stop talking, you're making my brain hurt.
Get up out of your chairs as Humongous, Hornets,
Oh my god. Dude, do we have an audience? Look out there. Do you see, like, these people here?
grab your peanuts and
We got some Roblox people over here, man.
He's really going to knock it out of the park. Pete Wheeler has stepped up to bat.
Do we have, like, crowd noise or no?
Ran so fast that his shoes fell off, and you could never find them again.
Oh god, we're playing Vinny the Gooch here. Someone's sad that extra pizza was gone by the time they get to the cafeteria.
Smacks one towards the gap, and the runner's out. The living legend, Pablo Sanchez, is here to show us how.
I hear some clapping.
Secret weapon always looks like he's ready to belt one out of the park.
He has yet to do that this entire season, though. Like,
Ball one.
he's really just not showing where it counts, you know?
That's one power.
Especially when he lobs it up like that.
Zings it.
Very, very lucky that there wasn't anybody, you know, there to catch it.
Postage collecting kid has come to stamp out the competition. It's Reese Worthington up to bat.
Reese Worthington up to bat. Fielders might want to stand back for this one.
You know, I identify with Reese Worthington a lot.
Go. One strike. Still some breathing room.
Hard time breathing. Awkward no matter what. I get him.
Good hit.
I understand his plight
But the dugout will
very, very well.
for you.
Bless you. Mikey Thomas is up to bat.
This kid is an impressive force on the plate. Just make sure to sanitize the bat when he's done with it.
This will probably be our last game, though, chat.
The gap.
We've been going for almost 4 hours at this point.
Runners on first and third. This just got exciting.
Nice! Good job, Pablo.
Around.
Great job. We're actually doing something. I keep forgetting I have Pablo as my running back in football. Is he any good as running back or no?
Solid hit.
Just keep on hitting it to the shortstop, dude. That's not gonna get us anywhere.
Mr. Clanky is here to show you the marvels of machine power.
Like, that's not gonna get us anywhere, chat.
No joke.
Alright, let's do it.
This one's coming in with some heat. Houston, we have a homer.
And it's out of here.
Man, why can't we ever get that? Why can't we ever get any of that, dude? Good lord.
Taking the mound today.
We can never get anything like that, dude.
Batter beware. This one's
I'm actually incredibly jealous of these guys. Of, like, all the other teams, honestly. Because, like, just their batting discipline just feels so much more well-rounded than us.
Rounder through the gap.
I don't know, maybe it's a skill issue.
The run is done.
Probably is a skill issue, and I'm just belly aching. As I'm one to do.
Ready to rock this stadium.
A new face steps in as batter. Let's see if the kids got the swing to match the swagger.
Oh man, you got your rhymes, dude. Alright, cool. Let's do it.
Grounder to right field. Say goodbye to that base runner. Stepping up to the plate.
Yes, I have him score at least 4 times a game. 4 times!
Buzzing for the newcomer.
I mean, that's insane for, like, any, like, field. I mean, that's insane for, like, any player to score 4 times in a single game. Let alone do so continuously. That's really, really good stuff.
Look out! Here comes the newcomer. Ready to rock the stadium.
Now here's a kid who...
That was like...
They practice
Wow, that was incredible fucking music there.
And that's a
For someone that's unproven, he has incredible walk-up music.
That's 2.
Come on, retire the side. Retire the side. Nice.
3 strikes your route.
Good job, Mr. Clanky.
Players are... No one has studied...
Good job, you fucking clanker.
Let's see if she can translate that knowledge into a home run.
Few kids know baseball as well as Stephanie.
All right, let's do it.
Breathes and eats baseball.
But no dice.
Just like,
Strike 1.
cannot get a home run ever, dude. It's never in the cards for us, I feel like. Oh, but she did get it to the outfield.
We've got a
Nice job. Nice freaking job, Stephanie.
He's bonkers at batting. It's Jorge Garcia.
If money could buy home runs, Jorge would be unstoppable.
Gets under it.
Okay, well, the balance of the universe has been restored. Jorge is bad now, and Stephanie is good.
Clanky is up to bat. I didn't know he was even...
That one finds the gap.
That's one way to stop a run.
Out at second.
Boy.
Gosh, dang it. I'm sorry, Stephanie, I tried. I tried my best. I tried my absolute best.
Skillful throw.
Ball. Really? I see similar swings and you still call it as a normal friggin... I still see you call it as a ball.
Here comes the neighborhood's newest ace.
Alright, fine.
A nasty pitch with a lot of heat.
Strike 1.
Oh, that's just embarrassing.
Strike out. Yes!
Strike 3. Better luck next time.
Sit down!
Next.
Sit down, you!
This batter is Colini.
Why am I not getting specials? I'm getting these strikeouts. Why am I not getting special pitches?
And that's a strike.
Mr. Clanky's holding it down up here. What can I say?
A little outside. Ball 1.
I love how lackadaisical Pete Wheeler is.
The ball whizzes down towards
Nice.
center.
That's strike 2.
One more. Low in.
Should be playable.
Nice! Good job, Kenny.
Ashley Weber is... Oops. I mean Sydney Weber is up to bat.
Good.
Coming in with some heat. What a hit.
Runner on first.
Nice. Keep her at first. Good job.
If he's trying, there's no stopping him.
Dude, he just, like, inhales that.
All got cool intros.
He inhales that corn dog like it's nothing.
Ground ball up the first.
That's honestly, like, scarier than anything in this game. He's like Kirby. On the inside, he's a black hole.
Wheelie is the fastest member on the team, as long as he's headed in the right direction.
Alright. Give us some breathing room here, Petey.
Hit hard. Rifles it.
Runner on first.
I don't feel like Pete's fast enough to run that out.
Pablo Sanchez walking up.
I wanted to take it to second base. I don't think he's fast enough to run that out. Close stance.
Slips through the gap.
Good.
Watch out! We've got a runner on first and second. Runners on first and third.
Yep, keep him at third. Keep him at third.
Breathing easy, but Reese Worthington is calm at bat.
Reese has allergies, but he's not.
Right. Alright, do a grounder. But wait for a good pitch. One that you can hit. Wait for one that you can handle.
That one gets through. That'll do it for the runner.
Back and forth. I'm getting tired just watching.
Alright, well that's a sack. Alright, well that's a sack, that's a sacrifice out.
They
Come on.
gave him a ride.
Oh no, they're scared. They're scared of Mikey.
Speed demon up to bat. Here comes the power.
But they should be scared of the K-Man.
And that's a strike.
They should be scared of the K-Man because he's about to freaking belt this guy.
Sent into
Nice!
Tag, you're it.
Great. Great, we have some breathing room. Not much, but we have a little bit.
Cut this one out of the park.
Bubbles knows everything about baseball, and if you give her enough time, she'll tell you all
A
of
clean
it.
pitch down the line. Rips one.
As she should.
To the scoreboard.
Stephanie! Let's go.
He's bonkers at batting. It's Jorge Garcia. Okay.
Deontay, your goat is actually doing something. At long last, they are doing something.
Clobbers it.
Carved it like a turkey.
We have a little bit of breathing room now. Jorge just needs to keep his cool.
All three bases are loaded. Better watch out. They aren't
Kenny!
messing around.
Kenny with the chair slide!
He can swing
Stole that run, basically.
Mr. Clanky.
Nerves of steel.
Alright.
What else do you expect?
That one's driven deep.
It's mine.
Alright, Stephanie, go home! Go home!
Crowd is at the edge of their seats.
Now this is more like it. A run has been.
Wow. Okay. Okay, we're finding the groove. We're finding the groove over here, dude.
Teddy's strike drone is down here.
We're finding the groove.
Yikes. That's a ball.
Ashley Weber's on the mound. Whoops.
Oh, dude, look at Jorge's tie over there.
That one gets through.
That's no good.
All right.
Yeah, that's fine.
Our turn now. Stepping up to the plate.
All right.
Big dreams and a bigger swing.
Clanky, I have faith that you could take it home, dude.
Strike one.
I have faith that you could take this shit home.
2 strikes.
Come on. Good, brother.
Right back to the pitcher. That's a textbook out.
We want a ladder, not a broken batter. I mean, to be fair,
Get ready to see some.
I wouldn't want a broken batter either. So. Alright, we got, alright, we got Timmy Fenton up here now. Let's do it.
Ready and waiting. First base is occupied.
Yeah, like, the fielding controls are just really weird. Like, even, like, whether you leave it alone or not, it just feels like the...
Baseball.
It just feels like the fielders just stop in their tracks all the time.
One strike. Still some breathing room.
Can't up an arm!
Finger discount over to the pitcher. Base was
Damn. That could have been really, really good, but it wasn't.
A swing and a miss.
Strike 2.
Alright, Clanky, get him out. Nice.
3. I feel so unfulfilled.
Same, sister. I get ya.
This batter
Why am I not getting the special pitches? I feel like I should be getting them.
Strike one. That's two.
Alright, we're good. That's an out. Get off the field, bitch.
Chopper to third. Picks it up.
It's done.
It's our turn now.
Oh, in all my years.
You can now play at Parks Department too. Good. Good. That was actually locked. It's a little bit weird, like, what this game, you know, decides to have locked behind shit, you know? It's a little bit weird what this game decides to have locked behind stuff.
What an amazing day for some baseball. Am I right, Vinny?
You hit the nail on the head there, Sonny. Which is what I'm about to do to this snail if my shirt catches on it one more time.
Well, I'm sure one of the players can lend you their bat to smash it in. But
I thought he said he was gonna ram a nail into his head, and I'm just like, well, that's a little extreme for this, don't you think?
And mighty soft.
Like, listen, I know that you're no longer playing like you used to, but it's all right, Vinny. It's all right. I recognize that, you know, things have not been as, you know, good as they could be. But, you know, that doesn't mean that we need to be over dramatic about it. It's okay. If we can win this next game, it'll put us at least in second place. We can do it. Yeah, we're in the top 3. We're coming back. But now we're back home in Steel Stadium. And honestly, this is not a good stadium for this team.
We are back for yet another rousing game of baseball.
Sonny, you didn't...
Look out!
Like, we are not really, like, in our bag here when we're on this field.
Perfect pitching.
Mr. Clanky on the mound.
It's not been a very good time for us.
Good luck getting a hit today.
It's not been a very good time for us, unfortunately. But hey, we have 2 wins in a row. Let's make it a third.
And that's a ball, folks.
I want to try and tease him to the outside here. Give him a bit of a slower one.
Chopper to third.
Hit it!
Ooh,
Good job.
the heartbreak in their eyes.
Good job, good job, good job.
Here comes the neighborhood's newest ace, towing the rubber and ready to deal.
Let's see if this kid can actually ball, or if they're just good standing there. Personally, I like the sneakers.
We have liftoff. Hits the barrier. Full extension.
Wow. Wow, they got, like, all the way out there, dude. Oh, man, she's already gassed. She's already gassed, dude.
Ooh, a tricky play, batter. And the fielder dives. The runner's out.
What?
We've got a runner on second, champing at the pitch.
Excuse me. Why did no one replace Pablo there?
To hit, it's done.
Pablo, you need to stay at the base. Why did you run off the base?
But he'll snack on anything.
A worm burner.
Why the fuck would you do that?
Runners on first and second.
Why would you do that, Pablo? There was no one there to replace you.
Big dreams and a bigger swing.
You just left the base wide open!
Pitch with personality.
What are we doing?
That's all, folks.
Time to choose.
I need you to sit in that dugout and think about what you just did, because that is not clean baseball.
He's a wheel.
That is a sloppy shop right there.
Plenty of time for this one.
But speaking of sloppy, that right there.
The living.
God damn it, I told you to stay in the dugout, Pablo. I didn't think I would be yelling at you, but I am.
That ball was hit so high, I've got time to do my taxes.
And they're out of the postage collection.
Again, Vinny the Gooch talking about how he's wanted for tax evasion. Good job.
Up to
Yeah, we're in the top 3. It's pretty good over here.
Tracking it down. That's
We're kind of fighting back, or at least we would be if we didn't just feed balls to gloves like that.
ready to...
If we just didn't feed balls to gloves like that, then we would be absolutely better off.
The fielder dives for it. Over to second.
Runner on first.
I feel like I hear goddamn,
Taking the mound today. This batter
I feel like I keep on hearing,
Steps in his batter.
Ricky Johnson, but I'm pretty sure that's Jorge Garcia. We've not seen Ricky Johnson at all during this. I'm pretty sure we faced all the teams at least once at this point.
Sent him scrambling.
scoops it up.
Throw the ball. What?
Runners on
Kenny!
first and second.
Penny, what are you doing? You're supposed to be the goat of this team, but you're not doing goat shit. Good. Good.
Strike two.
Alright, got him chasing. We'll do a slow ball here.
A clean pitch.
Try and get it down towards the bottom.
One powerful strike.
Oh, great. Great, fantastic. Fantastic. Awesome. Awesome. Oh, woohoo. Woohoo yourself. 3. We're down by 3, dude. I really think it's the field. We just kind of stink here, honestly.
And that's a strike.
Huh? Dude, that was like the sound effect. What?
Where'd the ball go? Now is not the time to choke. 2 strikes.
Alright, Karen. I'm gonna call up the manager here and tell you to sit down in the field. Get down.
Until next time.
That's an insane voice to give her.
Comes the newcomer, ready to rock the stadium. Watch me go! Right back to the pitcher. Nice play! One less runner on the bases. Right back up the middle, taking the mound today.
No chat.
This batter is cleaning the bases.
Once I'm done here tonight, after I do my post-stream ritual, I'm gonna try and catch back up on some wrestling, because
One strike.
it's honestly been, like, I don't know, a couple weeks since I've, like, actually sat down and watched anything. I've just been...
This puppy's headed for orbit.
We're really testing the limits of gravity today.
We're really testing the limits of my patience, as well. Focus on the game, Stev, is what it's saying. Otherwise, you're going to be giving up more home runs like that.
That's a ball. Hey, swing, why don't you?
You know what, Mr. Clanky, you've given up 2 this inning. I'm going to bench you, dude.
Up to pitch is the coolest kid on the block, Kenny Kawaguchi.
This kid is one of the coolest.
He's given up
I know.
too many here. This inning.
That ball is not coming back. Did anyone bring a spare?
Who needs movies when life is this?
Who needs a spare? It's right there.
With baguette or baseball bat.
The ball is right there. Just pick it up. It's fine.
Strike one.
Nice.
Pressure's on.
All right, let's try and get in the chase to the outside of the field, or try to get in the chase.
That's a ball, folks.
Nope. All right. All right, Kenny, you kind of shit the bed there. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm gonna get you, batter.
They got the aluminum power, and we just kind of let them take it. Unfortunately.
They've shut them down this inning.
Nice. It is not a total lost cause. We can still do this.
He has a.
We could still do this, but we need to lock in, dude.
It's headed straight back to the outfield.
Very shallow outfield, yes.
We've got a runner on first.
Yeah, we need to, like, actually get something going here.
K-Man, the speed demon, up to...
Here. Kenny can do it.
One managed to...
We can't do it, but Kenny sure can.
Smacks one towards the gap. And that's an out.
Just threw himself
Nice.
into it.
Yeah, Mikey's really slow, unfortunately. It's like even like the best of hits are a little bit tough for him. Because he just leaves so much to you know, be desired with speed.
Must have been practice for hours. Runners on first and second.
Nice job, Kenny.
Didn't just happen.
Got on base. Good job.
Carrying the best bat money can buy, it's Jorge Garcia.
Jorge is about to lay down the law on the baseball field. Maybe that's why
A
he's
solid
dressed
pitch
like
with
a lawyer.
personality.
No way!
Took the hop and down it goes.
No way! Dude, I thought he was gonna get a home run there. What? Dude, if that shed wasn't there, Jorge would have just gotten a home run before Pablo Sanchez.
And belted.
If that shed didn't stop the ball, Jorge would have gotten a home run before Pablo Sanchez or Pete Wheeler in this friggin' in this season.
Your future income will be insubstantial.
What an
There we go.
incredible play.
We take those. We absolutely take those.
Her trusty sidekick Teddy are at bat.
Some say that bear
It's almost
is the
time for a
spirit of
3-minute
legendary
Cheetos
ball
break, my
player,
dudes.
And that's why Luann is such a great.
It's headed
After this at bat.
outfield. That's a wrap.
Alright, cool. Fine. Add.
It's break time. Where are the Cheetos, my
Raw
dudes?
continues after
It
this.
happens. You rip, tear, and never have time to repair. Wait. Before you throw it away, let Mighty Mend It save the day. Hi, Billy Mays here for Mighty Mend It. The fast, easy way to mend, hem, and wear it again, saving you money. Mighty Mend It is not a glue, but a flexible bonding agent that grabs, adheres, and interlocks the fibers of virtually any fabric for a permanent repair. Sewing takes forever, but with Mighty Mend It, just apply, gently touch, and mend it. It has the strength to withstand storm force winds. Amazing! Easily mend a hem at your desk to look your best. Even if you sit and split, Mighty Mend It will quickly fix it. Mend pillows and comforters right on the bed, or make furniture repairs and save money. Mighty Mend It dries crystal clear and is safe for most any fabrics. Plus, it's machine washable. Even after 50 washes, the bond still stays strong. Whether it's denim, leather, or lace, you can use Mighty Mend It anytime, any place. We even repaired this parachute with Mighty Mend It, and it still has the strength to safely bring down this skydiver from 13,000 feet. Now that's the power of Mighty Mend It. Plus, it's ideal for scrapbooking or craft projects. You'll find hundreds of money-saving uses.
Call or go online to get the complete Mighty Mend It kit that includes one large bottle. But for everyone who orders today, we'll triple the bottles, plus give you a travel size and the money-saving idea guide, absolutely free. But we're not done. We'll also include a bottle of Gem It. Now you can add bling to just about anything, free. You get it all at incredible value for just $29.99. Order now.
Call 1-800-516-2354. That's 1-800-516-2354. Or go online.
This is a remarkably well-preserved commercial, I gotta say. Like, it actually looks like just as good as the day it aired.
Om nom nom. Oh, excuse me, we're back, my dudes.
And welcome back to Raw. I think that was our final commercial break for the evening.
Here comes the newcomer, ready to rock the stadium. Batter up!
We'll close out this here game and then we'll raid out to somebody, chat.
Keep your eye
If anyone has a recommendation, say it right now.
Oh, that's just
Rather
embarrassing.
say it in chat and I will look into them here.
line dry. Hey, look, it's up, dog.
Now that
Very surprised that wasn't an out there.
On your side.
With Pablo catching it. I thought that he was like right at it.
This batter is cleaning the bases. My time to shine.
Nope.
Strike one. I think my fastball is 112 miles per hour.
And you're probably right on that, brother.
Two.
In fact, it's so good, I want you to throw it out again.
Right back to
Good job.
pitcher. The runner's out of there. Let's go. Back where it came from. Stepping up to the plate with big.
All right, Kenny. Close it out.
Strike one.
Close it out, brother. You can do it.
Right into center field. Where's the energy? That'll do it for them this inning.
All right. We got to fight back here.
Bit confused. We have Pete Wheeler stepping up to the plate.
What am I supposed to do again?
Fucking belt it to the other end, dude. That's all I need you to do.
Got all of that one.
Maybe not while also crossing the foul line.
Lines one.
No way!
Better take a picture now because that ball is out of here and it ain't coming back.
Pete!
What kind of pitch that?
Living up to his potential in clutch moments.
Oh, whoa, that was a good thing, right?
Absolutely, dude. That was the best thing. Yep. Strike a freaking pose, brother. Pete! Goddamn Wheeler!
The secret
Pete fucking Wheeler!
looks like he's ready to belt one out of
Dude, he popped a pop a wheelie. Pop a wheelie.
Swing goes the batter.
another one.
I'll tell you what, Pablo. You gotta step it up, dude. Between Pete, Kenny, the robot, and goddamn Jorge Garcia. You got some competition, dude.
Gets under it.
We all experience heartbreak.
I don't think we're gonna win this, but listen, I'm happy that Pete Wheeler actually got one out of here. I was waiting for that.
All eyes are on the pitch. That's one.
I was waiting for that for so long, and it finally happened.
A souvenir.
I was waiting for friggin' Pete Wheeler to do something for so long, and it finally happened.
This one's coming in with some heat. Ooh, a tricky pitch.
Nice.
Throws it
Yep,
over.
just stay right there, dude. Stay right there.
Base is occupied.
All right, Kenny. Can you repeat what you did last time and belt it out? I would like that a lot.
Line drive.
You're moving like you ate fetid.
That's all.
Ah!
Like they say, win big, lose.
Statistics.
That was a classic case of too little, too late. The wind was calling, but the team was already at the bus stop.
Man. All right, well, where does that put us? Number 4. Not looking good. It's not looking good for our chances here. We might clinch a playoff spot. But it's going to be real close, I feel like. Chat, after that, I'm feeling fired up. I want to do one more. And then we're going to raid out. Pete's goddamn redemption was something to behold, honestly.
Welcome back to another great.
So something here isn't working.
I'm Sunny Day, and with me is
I don't quite know what it is, but we need to figure it out here.
Well, Vinny, today seems like a bright and sunny day. Perfect for a round of baseball, don't you think?
Sure. Until you get a nasty glare in your eye. Sonny, let me tell you, back in '01, I remember a kid was perfectly lined
I'm
up
trying to kind of figure out what we do here.
this nasty glare in his eye. He couldn't see and thought the ball had been thrown ahead of him, so he turned around.
Jorge's honestly been pretty okay, so I'm actually going to bump him up a little bit.
down and out in seconds.
Wow, Vinny, that's quite a story. Well, hopefully our players...
And that's not even the worst of it. This kid then goes up to pitch and...
He continues on.
Real tried and true.
Vinny!
What? What's the matter?
Don't you think it's time to start the game?
Oh, I see. Sorry there, folks. I guess I've gotten a bit sentimental in my old age.
Vinny, you're not old.
Trust me, kid. You may not feel it now, but you will when you get to my age.
We're the same age, Vinny.
Nah. In opposing dugouts, we have Humongous, Hornets, and White Giants.
I enjoy how he just carried on with that. That's good.
Regular stepping up to the plate.
Pete, you got it, dude. Do exactly what you did in the last game.
Skillful throw.
What a hit!
No, Pete, no! Come on. The wall was in the way.
The living legend, Pablo
Wow.
is here to show us how it's done.
Dude, he's on a friggin' hot streak, is Pete Wheeler.
That one's sky high.
That player was robbed.
Dude, I was trying to get him back, but it was really hard to do it.
And that's a strike.
Dude, Pablo's fallen off hard. Pablo fell off a cliff here in this season.
Wait.
Nice, he belted that shit.
Guess he got tangled up in the base path there.
I should have kept an eye on Pete, dude.
Be breathing easy, but Reese Worthing.
I should have kept an eye on Pete there. He could have easily made it if I kept an eye on him.
All right, it's our turn.
Waste of an inning. Waste. Complete waste of an inning, dude.
This batter is cool. There aren't many that can outpitch.
Alright, well, we need to just kind of...
Spectacular combination of muscle and brain.
Alright, well, we just gotta make sure that...
A clean pitch flying straight through the center.
Standing in its shadow. Throws for the...
We gotta make sure we're holding it down here.
Look out! Here comes the newcomer.
Get to the second inning, make it like the game just started.
The crowd is buzzing for the newcomer. No pressure, kid.
One strike. Still some breathing room.
We'll try to juke him here with a heat. Way to the outside.
A little outside. Ball one.
Nice.
Strikes. No pressure, but everyone.
I'm gonna get you, batter.
Time to hit the ball.
Got him swinging way up out of the zone.
Here comes the neighbor.
Gotta get a pitch you can handle, brother.
Rounder through the gap. Tag, you're it. We're on a roll.
Like, dude, they don't even like toss the ball. They like lob it. Like, no one in this game really tosses the ball. They just friggin' lob it.
Round ball up the first baseline.
Dude, just throw the ball to the friggin' baseman. It's not that hard. Just do it.
Here comes.
It's not that hard to do.
Chopper to third. That'll do it.
Good. Clean slate. Clean slate. Let's step up.
Jorge would be unstoppable.
Where'd the ball go?
Managed to slip through.
Jorge's socks and his swing posture is just insane to me.
Has him running, and that's an out.
Now Pablo's falling off a cliff, dude. He's no longer the GOAT.
Studied baseball like Stephanie Morgan.
This right here is why fucking AI is terrible. It'll replace goats like Pablo Sanchez with robots like Mr. Clanky.
That ball hit the stratosphere.
Nice.
We've got a runner on.
That's
first.
fine. Just stay right there, dude. Stay right there. Oh, hey, there's friggin' Ricky Johnson. Finally.
Good contact with the ball. It's the last you'll ever see of it.
Rounder to left field.
Watch out, Bird.
Oh, wait. Oh, okay. We're good.
Yikes. That's a ball.
Absolutely not, dude. I'm not chasing that. There's no way. Not chasing that either.
That's ball 2.
Ball 2. Come on. Get serious.
A little to the left. Out at
Back into the left. Shit, dude.
He can swing with the force of a truck. It's Mr. Clanky.
Nerves of steel.
One strike on the
Nerves of steel. That's it.
Those fielders are gonna need to man a blimp to catch that one.
Good job. Good job, Steph.
Doesn't make it. Little Luann Louis loops up to bat.
Don't underestimate her. She's speedier than a grizzly and will run the bases before the catcher can even get the ball out.
A tater to right field.
All right, Tater.
It's a foul.
It's headed straight back to the outfield.
No, I should have let that go, man. I didn't need to hit that. I did not need to hit that at all.
Ground ball up the first baseline. Say
Got
goodbye
it.
to that base runner.
Dude, I love how even the robot can trip.
The newcomer.
Nice.
Managed to slip through.
Kenny with the jukes.
Ooh, that pitch is sure to twist him up.
No way. Pete! Wow!
First base is occupied.
I mean, we didn't get the out, but what a catch by Pete Wheeler. He was there for it.
Taking the mound today. This batter
That, like, absolutely just belted over there and bounced off the wall, and he still, like, caught it.
swing, but no dice.
And that's a
Whoa, he's fast as hell. What is that? Do you see that? Okay, hold on. Well, we need to actually focus on, like, getting this guy, like, out at the plate then. Because that guy's speed is legendary. I'm seeing it.
Rounder to left field.
Runners on first and second.
Got
Runners
past
on
him.
first and third.
Quick throw to the
I wanted to try and, like, jukes him. But I just ended up giving them the fucking run, dude. I just ended up giving them the friggin' run.
ground ball up the first baseline.
Rookie mistake.
Picked off. Go team.
Now we're out here getting schooled by Ricky Johnson.
Here comes the neighborhood's newest ace.
I'm afraid that this team's not gonna make the playoffs, dude.
Keep your eye on the ball.
We're just not. We're not like that. We're not like that, dude. Not unless we could come back in the next inning.
Strike 2.
I suggest you don't blink.
Gone to chase though. That's good.
Your route. That's a wrap. He's really going to knock it out of
Pete.
the Pete.
Pete. Get us back on the board, dude.
And that's a ball, folks.
Just get us back on the board, Pete. Get us back on the board.
Back towards the outfield.
Nice!
Runner on
That's a ground rule double.
ground rule double.
Now, dude, third base. He is literally 90 feet away.
Pablo Sanchez.
But Pablo just needs to lock in here and do it. Reclaim the mantle, brother. Just hit it. You can do it. I know you can.
A long fly.
Tag. You're
No, just go. Go, 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 go. What?
Bless you. Mikey Thomas is up to bat.
Okay. Whatever. I'm really glad that was a double play at least.
Smokes that one.
Nice. Go, Pete. Pete, what are you doing? Can you go?
The postage collecting kid.
No.
Come to stamp out the
Wait.
competition. It's
Wait, is Pete glitched? No.
Up to bat.
There's no way.
Want to stand back for this one.
Dude, it's not showing that Pete's at the feet.
Tags. They've shut them down this.
I was robbed. I was robbed, chat.
A tough loss. But hey, at least they didn't fall apart like a cheap chair.
Listen, man, you don't need to sit here and glaze me, okay? You don't gotta sit here and glaze me. I know when I'm robbed. I know when I'm robbed. It's fine. You can call a spade a spade.
That was one of the roughest losses I've ever seen.
Oh, so now you're changing your fucking tune, huh? I get you. Now you're changing your tune. No, I know what you mean. I know what you said. I heard you the first time, dude. Good lord. Okay, yeah. Wow. This was a very intense stream. This was a very, very intense stream. I want to play more of this, though. I want to, like, do at least one full season of this, and we will. We will do at least one full season of this. We gotta, like, step it up here. We gotta really step it up here, because we are getting trounced right now. We are currently losing more than we are winning. And, well, that just doesn't really work. Now, does it? Raid message. There it is, chat. Lomboy Club Love, as always. Let's go and raid out to someone who's also playing this game. Why not? Let's see here. There's someone named Jenny Pixel Plays. They have Vinny the Gooch on their team, it looks like. So we're going to go ahead. We'll raid out to them. And, yeah. Thank you all very much for friggin' joining me tonight. This was a lot of fun. Come and join the Discord if you want. We are doing regular watch-alongs over there. Or at least I'm trying to. I would like to get back on the horse with that. We will be watching the upcoming AEW Redemption pay-per-view over there. So if you want to hang with a group of like-minded wrestling fans, come on over there. We have a lot of fun. My socials right here. I'm on everything. YouTube, Blue Sky, TikTok, all that stuff. Go and follow me over there. And let's go ahead and start the raid, y'all. Again, thank you all very much. I had a lot of fun. And I will see you next week. I'm going to a Pride event next week, so I don't know how the timing's going to work out. But I'll figure that out. And yeah, until then, y'all have a good night, and I will see you later on. Bye.